Let's set the time for tomorrow morning. After agreeing on the bet with Liu Yu, Su Ran turned his head to the beast master of the lion-dragon beast, whose name was Zhou Hong. Tomorrow, apart from the morning, I will have to serve some special guests and wouldn't be able to attend to you. How about at 8 in the morning, after my foster shop starts functioning? Excellent, Zhou Hong nodded briskly. He was more eager than Su Ran to get his pet beast groomed as soon as possible to help its recovery. Boss Su, I trust my lion-dragon beast in your hands, Zhou Hong said sincerely. Rest assured I'll give it my best. Su Ran's face looked serious, as if to show his willingness. He had bet his next year to do this job. He could not take it seriously. To enhance his fame as quickly as possible, he had to go all out. Even for him, addressing the lion-dragon beast's issue was not an easy task. Good thing is, though not easy, it doesn't mean impossible. I'd like to see what you will do tomorrow, Liu Yu said maliciously. By now, the reputation of the Universe Foster Store was ruined. Thus, Liu Yu plans to bet against the freedom of this guy in front of him for a year to make him realize the price of interrupting. Liu Yu never considered the possibility that Su Ran could win the bet. A clipped pet growing its fur back just by grooming. Really think grooming can do everything. After leaving the address of his foster store, Su Ran left with his 3 little beasts. The incident that happened in the Beast Master Association spread across Monster Wooden City like a gust of wind, with the help of the gossips. Many already knew that Starfare Foster, previously operating in Xian City, had settled in Monster Wooden City. As soon as they settled in, they picked a fight with Universe Foster Store, a top 3 in Monster Wooden City. And that bet has also been propagated, outing it to more people. On the other side of Monster Wooden City, there was a foster care shop named Wind and Cloud. Although it's been less than a month since it started, it has garnered many loyal customers due to its unique grooming skills and quality foster care services. It has broken into the top 10 for the daily influx of customers in Monster Wooden City. In front of the Wind and Cloud foster shop, a spectacled man who looked well-educated greeted customers with a warm smile. This man had a name that didn't match with his image. Liu Fengyun. He was the owner of the Wind and Cloud Foster Store. Among all the out-of-town foster stores invited to Monster Wooden City by the Beast Trainer Association in Monster Wooden City, Wind and Cloud Foster won the most customers, thanks to Liu Fengyun's business strategy and quality of service. Even though it was late, Liu Fengyun hurriedly stepped forward and welcomed another customer with an even brighter smile. Welcome, Tilda. Boss Liu, can you groom my pet beast? That customer laughed. After the last grooming session, it has been eager to come here again every day. Being chosen by you and your pet beast is our honor, Liu Fengyun smiled. Shall I do it? No, no, no. Let the same woman do it as before, the customer quickly shook his hand. Liu Fengyun nodded knowingly and with a snap of his fingers. Shortly thereafter, a beautiful woman came out and signaled the pet beast behind the customer to follow her into an empty grooming room. By the way, Boss Liu, do you know that another foster shop has come to Monster Wooden City from Xian City? A customer asked casually while waiting. Xian City? Liu Fengyun's smile momentarily faltered. Do their foster shops also come to Monster Wooden City to open branches? I don't know about that, the customer shrugged, but the boss of that new foster store is quite interesting. You don't know I was there at that time. The customer went on to recount the incident at the Beast Master Association before looking at Liu Fengyun. If it were you, Boss Liu, could you make that lion-dragon beast grow its fur again? Liu Fengyun's face showed a hint of thought. After a moment, he shook his head slightly. By using acceleration drugs, you can restore it to its original state in a month, but I cannot do it with a single grooming session. Is that so? The customer suddenly looked curious. You are the best groomer I have ever seen, and even you can't do it. If I guess correctly, the boss who you're talking about can't do it either. Liu Fengyun hinted at something and continued to smile. Huh? The customer looked surprised. His bet with Boss Liu of Universe Foster Store is not small. If he loses, he needs to work at Universe Foster Store for a year. If he can't do it, then why would he bet that way? Is there a possibility? Liu Fengyun's face showed a strange smile, that he doesn't want the lion-dragon beast to regrow its hair at all. I plan to entirely change the style of the lion-dragon beast. Back at his foster shop, responding to the curiosity of the 3 little ones, Su Ran said so. Even with the best hair growth drugs, it would take half a month for the lion-dragon beast to recovery. Su-ran shook his head helplessly. So wanting to recover immediately to its previous state is simply impossible. But even if it can't recover to its previous state, it doesn't mean it can't be trimmed into another style. Zilu Tilda, but how is this different from what Liu Yu did before? Star gave a neigh, filled with curiosity and confusion. What Liu Yu did isn't just styling right. Why, when Su-ran continues to groom, can he make the lion-dragon beast better? The principle is actually very simple. Su-ran turned his head to look at the three little ones, then fixed his gaze on Xian. For example, if I trim Xian's tail furry shorter and leave the rest as is. Meow, what? Xian's pupils shrink. She quickly hid her large, floaty tail like a cloud between her back legs. Don't look at me, I don't have a tail. She wouldn't want a beautiful tail like this to be reduced to just a skinny tail. It would be too ugly. Sure, Tilda, that would definitely not look good. Can imagined Xian's shorter tail fur and quickly shook his head. If I were to, on this basis, trim the fur around Xian's neck and make some adjustments on her body fur as well. As Su-ran spoke, he took out his pen and started to sketch on a white piece of paper. Soon, an image of Xian with shorter fur appeared on the sheet. What do you think? After the sketch was complete, Su-ran showed the drawing to the three little ones. Zilu Tilda, it seems to look not bad like this. In Star's voice, there was a hint of uncertainty. Could it be his aesthetics was off? Why does a short-haired Xian seem quite good-looking? Sure, Tilda, indeed. Can on the side nodded in agreement. It felt that this styling looked good. Meow, this. Staring at the unmistakably different image of herself on paper, Xian's eyes widened initially, then, unexpectedly, she seemed moved. It wasn't entirely unacceptable to change her appearance once in a while. Of course, I wouldn't actually cut Xian's fur. Su-ran quickly tore up the sketch, dispelling the thoughts of the three little ones. I advocate for the natural beauty of pet beasts and wouldn't make such adjustments unless necessary. The previous one was just a simple example. He crumpled the wasted paper into a ball and threw it into the bins and went on. The essence of grooming is to find a balance. Aside from cleaning, the most crucial part of grooming is to maintain the pet beast in its prime state by enhancing its overall balance. For when to attribute pet beasts with feathers or fur, their fur should be kept as smooth and silky as possible, so that in flight or wind battles, they can showcase their needed flexibility without any hindrance. For water attribute pet beasts, their skin tends to be smooth or they possess oil-secreting hair that is water-resistant. During grooming, it is very important to maintain the balance of their fur's oil and water. Thunder attribute, fire attribute, earth attribute. All kinds of attributes and species have their corresponding grooming needs, and these needs are determined based on their abilities and physique. Su-ran paused to see the puzzled faces of the three little ones and laughed helplessly. Forget it, let's not talk about this. Anyway, the lion-dragon beast will be as good as new after tomorrow's grooming. All right, it's getting late. Su-ran glanced at the sky and changed subjects. I need to start meditating, you three can go play. Upon hearing what Su-ran said, the three little ones glanced at each other. A glint of ambition flashed in their eyes. But before any ideas could form, Su-ran's next comment was already spoken. But you are not allowed to leave the city again. Sure, Tilda, all right. Can replied listlessly, feeling like an explorer who's lost his dreams. Meow, Tilda, when would we get to see the place? Can was talking about Tilda. As Xian shook her head, her eyes filled with expectancy. She had a hunch that the thunderous sound, buried deep underground, meant something important to her. Tomorrow then. Already sitting cross-legged on the bed in a meditation pose, Su-ran casually responded, after grooming the lion-dragon beast tomorrow, I'll begin grooming the rest of the ground raccoon tribe. If all goes well, the grooming should be done by the end of the day. Then after closing, we can go out of the city to take a look. Su-ran paused. It just so happens that Star will get more blessings at night. As he spoke, Su-ran slowly closed his eyes and sunk into deep meditation. At this moment, however, Star and Can's expressions changed slightly. Those ground raccoons will indeed be groomed in the shop. Oh no, if they see them tomorrow, won't they be socially embarrassed? Chapter 427, 264 Fulfilling the Bet, 2 in 1. Time passed and it was the next morning. The time for the bet between Su-ran and the owner of the Universe Foster store. Liu Yu, which had been settled yesterday, had arrived. Early in the morning, Zhou Hong, with his lion-dragon beast whose appearance had greatly deteriorated, arrived in front of the Starfare foster care shop, following the address given by Su Ran the day before. For Su Ran and Liu Yu, this was a gambit with significant stakes on the line, and for him, it was the only chance for his pet beast to recover. Time passed by the minute and second. The shop door of the Starfare foster care shop had not yet opened, yet more and more people were standing outside. These were the people who had witnessed the argument between Su Ran and Liu Yu with their own eyes or had heard about it from others, and had therefore come specifically to watch the spectacle. Although Xi'an City didn't have as powerful forces to maintain peace and order, the biggest feature of Monster Wooden City was its peace and stability, so there were plenty of idle bystanders as well. During their wait, the door of the Starfare foster care shop slowly opened. "Welcome to the Starfare foster care shop." Su Ran stepped out of the shop door, smiling at Zhou Hong. Behind him stood the three little ones who had come with him. "Good morning, Boss Su." Zhou Hong curiously glanced at the natural layout inside the shop through the door. "Shall we start now?" Without waiting for Su Ran to answer, someone among the bystanders couldn't help but speak up. "Wait a minute, the other main character hasn't arrived yet." Yes, let's wait for Boss Liu to arrive." "Then let's wait a little longer for Boss Liu to avoid any disputes." Su Ran spread his hands. "Fair enough." Zhou Hong calmed down and nodded slightly. Not making the crowd wait too long, a figure quickly approached from a distance. The crowd automatically made way for him, and Liu Yu walked up to Su Ran and Zhou Hong without expression. "Let's begin." "Please come in." Su Ran extended his hand, motioned towards the shop, and then turned around and went in. Including the bystanders, everyone excitedly followed inside. They had never seen this Starfare foster shop before, so aside from witnessing the bet firsthand, they also wanted to see what made this foster shop from Xi'an City different. Upon entering the shop, Zhou Hong looked around and quickly spotted the price menu. The washing and protection prices entered his view, slightly lifting his eyebrows. The lion-dragon beast, being a large pet beast, would require over 100,000 at those foster shops in Monster Wooden City that already offer washing and protection services. And at the Universe Foster store, it only cost 10,000. This was one of the reasons why he chose the Universe Foster store without hesitation. And the result clearly wasn't good. Cheap goods are never good. It was a lesson learned the hard way. Therefore, the moment he saw that Starfare Foster shop's prices were also cheaper than other shops, his confidence in Starfare Foster Care shop diminished a bit. He. Liu Yu glanced at the price menu and laughed out loud. "Your washing and protection prices are also cheaper than other shops. Who knows about your skills?" Seeing the expressions of the two and the changing faces of other bystanders, Su Ran understood what was going on. For a moment, he felt somewhat helpless. He never expected that there would be a day when he would be doubted for charging too little. "If you look at the price for fosterage and accompanying training, you should know that our shop's charges are not cheap." Su Ran helplessly spread his hands. "In fact, washing and protection services in other cities are cheaper than in Monster Wooden City. And Starfare Foster Care currently has 3 branches in different cities, all with uniform pricing." 3 branches in 3 different cities. Just hearing this, the crowd couldn't help but feel a little amazed. What kind of confidence is needed to achieve this? After Su Ran's explanation, they looked at the prices for fosterage and accompanying training, and indeed found these 2 services to be more expensive than the most expensive ones in Monster Wooden City. So they simply unified the pricing of their chain stores. For a moment, the crowd couldn't help but look at Liu Yu with somewhat unfriendly eyes. Were they being misled by this guy again? Liu Yu opened his mouth, only to close it immediately after. He suddenly felt it would be better not to speak. After all, the final judgment would depend on the result of the grooming. No matter how eloquently the young man talked, if he was unable to restore the lion-dragon beast that had already been shorn, he was bound to lose. Thinking of this, Liu Yu glared at Su Ran hatefully and stopped talking. As for Zhou Hong, after hearing Su Ran's explanation, his confidence in Starfare Foster Care shop was reignited. "Boss Su, I entrust my lion-dragon beast to you then." Gently pushing the lion-dragon beast, indicating it to follow Boss Su, Zhou Hong had a pleading expression on his face. "Please be assured I will do my best." Su Ran smiled, stretched out his hand and touched the lion-dragon beast's huge head. Do you want to accompany the grooming session or wait in the outside lounge? You can accompany. Zhou Hong was taken aback for a moment and nodded without hesitation. Then I choose to accompany. Although he had regained a lot of confidence in Starfare Foster Care Shop, if the grooming could be done right in front of his eyes and he could watch the whole process, he would feel even more assured. Thinking of this, Zhou Hong couldn't help but turn to look at Liu Yu. The reason why the lion-dragon beast was groomed like this at Universe Foster Store was largely because Universe Foster Store did not allow the Beast Master to accompany the grooming process. Chapter 428-264, Cashing in the Bet, 2-in-1. By the time the lion-dragon beast was sent to him after the cleaning and caring procedure, it was too late for any regrets. Liu Yu's gaze flickered at this moment. Can people accompany him during the cleaning and caring process? He wanted to see what made this guy's cleaning and caring procedures different. Since people are allowed to accompany, I suppose Boss Su won't mind if I also go in and observe. Liu Yu sneered coldly and spoke leisurely. That's not my decision to make. Su Ran shook his head, then looked at Zhou Hong. The lion-dragon beast is Mr. Zhou's pet beast. How to clean and care for it and who is allowed to accompany, he has the final say. After hearing Su Ran's words, Liu Yu turned his head and squeezed out a thin smile. Mr. Zhou, what do you think? Zhou Hong hesitated for a moment. Instinctively, he didn't want this man who had cut his pet beast's fur too short to enter the grooming room. But thinking of the bet between Liu Yu and Su Ran, Zhou Hong knew that doing so would indeed be the best choice for both of them. In that case, Boss Liu, you can follow too. Zhou Hong spoke in a deep voice and then looked at the eager onlookers on the side. You all stop asking, too many people would affect Boss Su. With one sentence, Zhou Hong obliterated the onlookers' ideas to follow inside. He nodded at Su Ran, signaling that he could proceed. Please follow me. Su Ran turned his head and led the lion-dragon beast towards the grooming room. Zhou Hong and Liu Yu followed closely. Soon the door of the grooming room was closed, leaving a stunned crowd outside. Wait. In the crowd, a middle-aged man with half-rimmed glasses and scholarly demeanor adjusted his glasses and slowly said, The lion-dragon beast is so big, the cleaning and caring should take about half an hour. In half an hour, we will know the outcome of this bet. Boss Liu, why did you leave your store to come here? Someone recognized the owner of the Wind and Cloud Foster Care Shop and teased him. I'm here to learn a thing or two. Liu Fengyun laughed, his gaze once again falling on Starfare Foster Care Shop's price menu. If the pricing is uniform across all cities, then the young man who dared to offer such a price is indeed quite confident. His eyes showed a deep interest. After seeing the lion-dragon beast with his own eyes, Liu Fengyun was clear that even if he exhausted all his strength, he could hardly maintain the beast's condition. What kind of level could this Boss Su achieve? He was very curious. Come, lie down here. Inside the grooming room, under Su Ran's direction, the lion-dragon beast obediently lay on the grooming platform for large pet beast, waiting for Su Ran's next step. Although its race name means both lion and dragon, the lion-dragon beast's temper is very stable. It will conscientiously execute the instructions of both the beast master and others. Well done, I'll give you something good later. Su Ran gently patted the lion-dragon beast's big head, then turned around and began his preparations for the cleaning and caring. In a corner of the grooming room, Zhou Hong quickly recovered from seeing the interior of the grooming room. His hands clenched slightly, looking at his own pet beast. He was curious about the care that the lion-dragon beast was about to receive, and felt very nervous. Could this Boss Su really do as he said? On the other hand, Liu Yu looked more serious. Without comparison, there is no harm. From Starfare Foster's grooming room, he saw one word. Professional. Among them were many instruments and items he didn't recognize, which made him vaguely feel that the young man in front of him, like he said, indeed had strong grooming skills. Could it be that I will lose this bet? Thinking of this, Liu Yu suddenly felt restless. Once he loses, he will have to refer customers who require grooming services to Starfare Foster, and this would be working in someone else's favor. It's easy to understand what a great blow this would be to Universe Foster. No, we have not necessarily lost. Liu Yu took a deep breath, forcibly cheered himself up, and stared at Su Ran, who was preparing. He knew the condition of the lion-dragon beast too well, because it was his doing. When trimmed like this, Apart from letting the lion-dragon beast regrow its own new fur slowly, there were no other options. Thinking of this, Liu Yu's eyes lit up with confidence. He had not reached the point of losing yet. Without paying attention to Liu Yu's thoughts, Su Ran quickly prepared the special bath dew for the lion-dragon beast. As he had said earlier, in order to reward the lion-dragon beast for being obedient, he especially added a resource to the bath dew that could make the beast feel better, to help relieve the psychological shadow caused by having its fur clipped too short. After adjusting the water to the right temperature for the lion-dragon beast, Su Ran grabbed the showerhead in one hand, evenly sprayed the bath dew on the lion-dragon beast's body, and with his other hand gently stroked its fur, so that the bath dew penetrated deeper into the fur. The comforting temperature of the water suddenly wetted lion-dragon beast's fur. The warm feeling was just right, causing the beast to shiver with pleasure as if its whole body had warmed up. The bath dew continuously seeped into the gaps at the roots of the hairs, dissolving the dirt residues untouched during the hasty cleaning in the Universe Foster store, and then flowing down with the dirt, gathering in a shallow gray stream beneath the grooming platform. Chapter 429, 264 Fulfilling the Bet, 2 in 1. On seeing this scene, Zhou Hong's expression subtly changed. He could naturally tell that this was just a preliminary wash and basic cleaning for his lion-dragon beast. But the problem was, the lion-dragon beast had already undergone bathing and grooming yesterday. Even though that bath was rather poor, but did they not even wash it clean? With this thought, Zhou Hong turned to glance at Liu Yu. His look carried an added touch of displeasure. Wiping the slight sweat off his forehead, Liu Yu was already feeling immense pressure. He had clearly washed the lion-dragon beast inside and out twice yesterday, yet there was still so much dirt left. Or did the lion-dragon beast get dirty overnight? Feeling Zhou Hong's discontented gaze, Liu Yu figured it must be the former. This left him even more dumbfounded. The grooming trimmed remains, hadn't it been cleaned properly? Before he could think further, a pleasant noise echoed in the grooming room. Roar tilde. It was the voice of the lion-dragon beast. Under Su Ran's gentle massage at the base of its fur, the lion-dragon beast experienced an electrifying pleasure all over its body. Every hair follicle was tenderly cared for, making it feel like returning to a warm, cozy cradle. The lion-dragon beast's eyes slowly became glazed, and a contented look appeared on its face. Pleasure value from lion-dragon beast plus 30. Pleasure value from lion-dragon beast plus 30. From seeing the continuous pop-up notifications, Su Ran's smile brightened a bit more. After 2 days of the store opening, he finally saw the first increment in pleasure value. He had given grooming services to the ground raccoon tribe for half a day yesterday, and while he had received numerous skill fragments, he gained no pleasure value since all the raccoons were wild super creatures. Here was the first pleasure value earned by the monster Wooden City Starfare fosterage. Thinking of this, he looked at the lion-dragon beast with an even friendlier gaze. The force he used in his hands unconsciously became more gentle and soft. As a result, the tremors of the lion-dragon beast intensified. This comfortable feeling made its entire body seem lighter. Although it was a creature of the dark attribute, at this moment it suddenly felt the joy of the wind attribute. Roar tilde tilde. Another sound, stranger than before, was squeaked out from its mouth. Zhou Hong immediately cut off his shared perception with the lion-dragon beast. As he looked toward Su Ran, his gaze held hints of surprise and joy. The surprise was from seeing this side of the lion-dragon beast that he had never seen before, despite its character being stable and obedient. The joy came from the realization that this grooming service that was so comfortable to the lion-dragon beast could indeed solve its problems. On the other hand, the look on Liu Yu, who had witnessed this scene, had grown even darker. He remembered very clearly that during the grooming he had given the lion-dragon beast yesterday, the beast gave no feedback or resistance, lying limply on the care platform like a corpse. And now, looking at the creature, shaking in delight with a confused stare, Liu Yu felt as if he was being repeatedly slapped in the face. His hands clenched into fists, his breath becoming more rapid. Damn it! Another wash, fur care, deep hair repair. Su Ran finished all the steps in an orderly manner, and weird noises from the lion-dragon beast echoed in the grooming room. Liu Yu's expression, initially embarrassed, had now turned numb. Watching Su Ran, who was performing a grooming procedure far more professional than his own with such ease and artistry, Liu Yu clung to his last shred of hope. That was, even after all these steps, the length of the lion-dragon beast's fur had not changed, and the areas which were originally bald remained bald. He hadn't lost yet. Soon, after completing all the hair care procedures, Su Ran took out a delicate long pair of scissors and a long comb while the hair was still damp. After meticulously combing and separating the fur of the lion-dragon beast into hundreds of different sections, Su Ran held one section of the fur and snipped it with a clack. Accompanied by a tuft of damp fur falling on the floor beneath the care platform, the entire grooming room fell silent. What? Johang was just rejoicing that he found a great bathing and grooming service, but now he couldn't help standing up, his fists clenched as he looked at Su Ran. What are you doing? Ha, isn't it obvious? He's giving the lion-dragon beast a haircut. Liu Yu, initially shocked, burst into laughter. Trim more. Originally, he had been wondering what method Su Ran would use to make the lion-dragon beast grow more fur. He never expected that Su Ran had no such thoughts, and was planning to continue trimming the lion-dragon beast's hair. It was already trimmed so baldly, wouldn't it become even balder with further trimming? Thinking of this, Liu Yu felt overjoyed. It was evident that this guy, Su Ran, indeed had skills in grooming. It just so happened that their Universe Foster store lacked talent in this area. Getting him to work for him for a year was a great deal. After a year, when he had learned this technique, he would kick this annoying guy out. For a moment, Liu Yu had even planned his actions when the gamble ended after a year. Chapter 430-264 Fulfilling the Bet, 2 in 1. He couldn't help but grin already, only to hear Su Ran speak calmly. Don't rush. Su Ran gave a little wave of the scissors in his hand. Even if we're all trimming, the results can be vastly different, just like how I can still clean a pet beast even after others have attempted to do so. The smirk on Liu Yu's face vanished instantly. At that moment, he felt as if he had been trampled on. After the initial excitement, Johang's emotions had cooled slightly. He had to admit, the moment he saw Su Ran take out scissors to trim the lion-dragon beast's fur, he instantly had a gut feeling that Su Ran might ruin the beast too. But as Su Ran said, there can be a difference even in trimming and grooming. Su Ran's previous grooming work had bolstered his confidence somewhat. Combined with the fact that the wager between Su Ran and Liu Yu was substantial, meant he was willing to bet on Su Ran once more. However, as Johang slowly retook his seat, he couldn't help but remind him, "Be gentle, Boss Su." "Don't worry, my hands are very steady." Su Ran smiled faintly, then reached out to soothe the lion-dragon beast's emotions. Once more subjected to the trimming of its fur, the creature seemed visibly more nervous. The small episode in the grooming room passed. Su Ran's trimming continued. Locks of hair fell to the floor under his scissors, accumulating into a small mountain of dark fur standing stark against the clean white marble tiles. Seeing the pile of fur, Johang couldn't help but twitch a smile despite telling himself to have faith in Boss Su. At this moment, he desperately wanted to know what Boss Su actually planned to do. But looking at Su Ran's focused expression and nearly phantasmagoric speed, Johang worried that any interference from him might bring about unpredictable consequences. At one side, Liu Yu was watching the hair pile up at Su Ran's feet, a satisfied smirk playing on his face. The amount of fur that Su Ran had cut was nearly 2 or 3 times the amount that he had trimmed the day before. Based on Su Ran's rate of trimming, wouldn't this lion-dragon beast end up completely bald? No matter what the other party does, it would be him who won this bet. Snip. Having delicately trimmed the last strand of fur, Su Ran gently wiped the beads of sweat on his forehead, inspected each area of fur thoroughly, then heaved a sigh of relief and put down the scissors on the toolkit. Next, he picked up a comb and gently started combing the lion-dragon beast's fur. While removing the broken hair hidden in the fur, the originally messy fur of the lion-dragon beast, due to trimming, gradually began showing its true style. The dark, thin hair clung tightly to the skin, short but remarkably soft, perfectly highlighting the lion-dragon beast's strong physique. Although it was totally different from the lion-dragon beast's previous image, this fresh look was not inferior, but rather brought a sense of novelty as if it had undergone a skin change. Johang's clenched hand slowly relaxed. Although the grooming process for the lion-dragon beast was not completely over yet, seeing it now, he knew that he could accept this grooming result. The term "able to accept" even felt a bit too harsh. It would be more accurate to say that he was extremely satisfied with this outcome, based on the original state. Finally, after Su Ran finished the drying and shaping, the grooming of the lion-dragon beast was complete. After being dried, the lion-dragon beast's fur became even softer, reflecting a glossy radiance like silk under the light, perfectly displaying the contours of the beast's muscles. Roar tilde tilde tilde. Upon seeing its own brand new appearance in the mirror, the lion-dragon beast first showed a stunned expression. Even the previously remaining confusion in its eyes seemed to have cleared up quite a bit. Upon realizing that the completely new image in the mirror was actually itself, the beast's mood clearly became much more invigorated. Clearly, it too quite liked its new shape. The grooming is finished. Su Ran wiped his hands and walked up to Zhou Hong, giving a small smile. I hope you are satisfied. I'm very satisfied. Zhou Hong nodded emphatically without hesitation. Liu Yu's face, on the other hand, was pitch black. If both the beast master and the pet beast are satisfied, it's the best confirmation of the grooming effect. Obviously, he lost this gamble. As the three of them, along with the lion-dragon beast, emerged from the grooming room, the crowd that had waited outside for a long time couldn't help but exclaim. They still remembered how the lion-dragon beast had looked when it went in, and now looking at the one that walked out. It was as if they had switched out the pet beast. For a moment, those beast masters whose pets also had grooming needs were swayed. With this case before them, if even a lion-dragon beast which had been shorn bald could get a new lease on life in this shop, what would their own pets look like after grooming here? Thinking of this, they could no longer hold back, quickly moving forward to surround Su Ran. Boss Su, how long is your store open every day? Boss Su, do you have a membership card here? I'll get one. Boss Su, you. Everyone, don't rush. Seeing the crowd coming forward, Su Ran couldn't help but wave his hands, laughing. Our shop's opening hours are posted on the outside door, and we don't have any membership cards or other recharge services. The price menu is right on the wall, transparent prices. If anyone has any other questions, please ask one at a time. Then Boss Su, can my pet come for grooming now? An impatient beastmaster promptly asked. The other beastmasters also nodded in agreement. Obviously, as soon as Su Ran said yes, they would call over their pets in the next moment. I suggest you all come back tomorrow. Hearing this, Su Ran shook his head. I already have an appointment today. He had already caught sight of the ground raccoon tribe waiting quietly outside, not yet entering. Today, he still had grooming to be done for the members of the ground raccoon tribe that didn't receive it the day before. He didn't have time to attend to so many guests. When they heard Su Ran say this, the crowd's excited feelings calmed a bit. The next moment, a voice was heard in the crowd. Boss Liu, where are you going? As those words fell, everyone turned their eyes towards the shop door. Liu Yu was half bent over, with one of his feet already stepping outside the door. Obviously, he wanted to slip away. Realizing he was found out, Liu Yu angrily glanced at the crowd, but couldn't find who was the one that shouted. He awkwardly retracted his foot, trying to cover his embarrassment with a soft cough. I suddenly remembered some urgent matters in my shop. I have to leave first. Don't go. Su Ran quickly went forward. Boss Liu, you haven't forgotten about our bet, have you? This was the method which he had found with such difficulty to increase his fame. He couldn't let this guy escape. With Monster Wooden City's top 3 ranked Universe Foster store drawing in customers, the fame of Starfair Foster Care Shop could at least increase by 5%. The wager, Liu Yu's expression subtly changed, finding it hard to respond. So many of us are watching, Boss Liu. A businessman should keep his word. From within the crowd, Liu Fengyun, adjusting his glasses, suddenly spoke. Liu Yu's expression changed slightly, a fierce struggle showing in his eyes. Eventually, he gritted his teeth. Fine. According to our previous bet, customers from the Universe Foster store who have grooming needs will be directed to you. After saying so, Liu Yu, unable to maintain his composure, turned and left without hesitation. Watching him leave, Su Ran nodded in satisfaction. Yes, that's more like it. Chapter 431, 265. Cancan's Social Death and Earth Raccoon's Gratitude 2 in 1. Chapter 432, 265. Cancan's Social Death and Earth Raccoon's Gratitude 2 in 1. Yesterday, encountering the other party outside the city, it was mortified to see them again at this moment. Damn it, I was one step too slow. Seeing Cancan's unusual behavior, Su Ran's brows slightly raised. This doesn't look like it doesn't have anything to do with me. With that thought, Su Ran suddenly remembered that the ground raccoon tribe left the shop for the city outskirts yesterday around the same time. Can and Star were returning from there. So, what happened at the end of business yesterday? Cha, how did you know? Upon hearing Su Ran's inquiry, Can's golden eyes couldn't help but widen a bit. I didn't say anything. How did Su Ran guess? Seeing Can like this, Su Ran felt sure of the situation and turned to look at Star, who couldn't bear to look directly at Can. Zilu Tilda, this is what happened. Realizing that there was no fooling Su Ran, Star shook its head, then quickly relayed the encounter with the ground raccoon tribe on the way back yesterday, and how Can scared them off and even wanted to chase after them to give them another scare. After hearing this, both Su Ran and Xian, who had been watching the drama, revealed a peculiar look. Can, this little fellow, really let loose outside the city. All right, Can, apologized to them. Now knowing the crux of the matter, Su Ran said with a mix of amusement and annoyance. Cha Tilda, sorry Tilda. Can blinked its eyes and dutifully approached the ground raccoon clan leader, speaking softly. Lu Tilda. No harm done. Now aware of the situation, the ground raccoon clan leader waved its paw with a slightly bewildered motion. It was the first time it had ever received an apology from a being of the general stage. In that moment, the ground raccoon clan leader grew fonder of the Starfare foster care shop. Lu. Returning the favor, it waved its paw at the ground raccoons waiting inside for the washing and protection service, signaling them to queue up properly and behave. The fluffy ground raccoons quickly lined up in a long queue, each stepping forward to place the luminous soil stones they had prepared on the counter, and then waited for Su Ran to provide the washing and protection service. This scene appeared rather amusing. Seeing this, the three little ones knew that their help was no longer needed in the shop, so they went upstairs together, heading to their respective training areas for a new day of training. Now let's get started. Taking a deep breath, Su Ran patted the ground raccoon standing at the front of the line, signaling it to follow. A person and an animal entered the washing and protection room, and soon after, the strange sounds of a ground raccoon could be heard from inside. Lu tilde tilde tilde. Splash. Clang. A series of crashing sounds faintly emanated from the tightly shut doors of the Universe Foster store. Inside the shop, the staff watched in silence as Liu Yu continued smashing things, unsure of what to do. After a while, Liu Yu finally stopped his actions, gasping for air. He carefully placed his favorite ceramic vase back on the table and pointed at the various pieces of paper and plastic products scattered on the ground. Clean this up. Yes. A staff member quickly stepped forward and began tidily picking up the mess on the floor. Boss, what do we do now? A young man among the staff, who appeared to be higher in rank, approached Liu Yu with a worried look on his face. Are we really going to follow through with the bet? If we do, our Universe Foster store's customer base will gradually be taken by them. I know. Liu Yu massaged his throbbing temples, but with so many people watching, if I reneged right there, the reputation of the Universe Foster store would be completely ruined. Thinking of Liu Fengyun, who had stood in the crowd enjoying the spectacle and then casually hit him where it hurt, a shadow crossed Liu Yu's eyes. These outsider foster stores really are all tough customers. He had no doubt that if he had not honored his word at that moment, Liu Fengyun would have tripped him up and spread the incident throughout Monster Wooden City, destroying the reputation of the Universe Foster store. Therefore, his declaration to honor the bet at the time was truly a last resort. Thinking of the consequences of fulfilling the bet, Liu Yu couldn't help but want to slap himself. If only I hadn't bet in the first place, none of this would have happened. If only. Taking a deep breath, Liu Yu tried to regain his usual composure. Zhang Tian. I'm here, the higher-ranking young man responded gravely. What do you need, boss? First, cancel all washing and protection services of the Universe Foster store. Liu Yu's voice paused briefly, and repurpose the washing rooms accordingly. As if the Universe Foster store never had washing and protection services to begin with. Okay, Zhang Tian pondered for a moment then nodded firmly. He now understood the intention behind Liu Yu's actions. Currently, only a few are aware of this matter. Moreover, since the washing and protection services of the Universe Foster store hadn't been around for long, the majority of customers were also unaware of it. Since the bet stipulated that the Universe Foster store would no longer engage in washing and protection, they might as well go with the flow and completely erase any trace of the Universe Foster store's washing and protection services. With this approach, they could retain as many previous customers as possible. Surely the boss, even at such a critical juncture, could come up with the best damage control plan. Secondly, Liu Yu's voice stopped again. A chill flickering in his eyes put up a notice outside the door of our Universe Foster store. Chapter 433, 265. Cancan's Social Death and Earth Raccoon's Gratitude 2-in-1. The content of the notice is a list of foster shops in Monster Wooden City introducing washing and protection services, telling our customers that our shop does not intend to launch washing and protection service. If customers have washing and protection requirements, they can go to these shops for the service. At this point, Liu Yu snorted softly, with a hint of mockery flashing in his eyes. The bet was that our Universe Foster store should recommend customers to Starfair Foster Care Shop. But it never said that we could only recommend customers to Starfair Foster Care Shop. My approach does not violate the terms of the bet. Yes, Zhang Tian nodded vigorously, admiration rising in his eyes. Indeed, Mr. Liu. Although the bet was somewhat impulsive, he still showed such clever planning amid the crisis of the shop's operation. If they only recommended customers to Starfair Foster Care Shop, it would direct all customer traffic to the competition, giving them tremendous benefits, and more people would learn about the bet. Why do you only recommend Starfair Foster Care Shop? Because we lost the bet. What was the bet about? However, recommending all the shops would not lead to such a problem. After all, it made sense for Universe Foster Store to address customers' concerns by listing all shops that offer washing and protection services, without showing any preference, since they themselves no longer offered such services. Right. A sharp glint flashed in Liu Yu's eyes. Call those local shops that have introduced washing and protection services and see if we can get them to offer a discount, to make concessions, and to team up against foster shops from other areas. By doing this, we can say that we obtained washing and protection discounts for our customers, which can also play a role in salvaging our reputation. Also put Starfair Foster Care Shop at the very end of the recommendation list. Liu Yu's words paused for a moment, then he quickly corrected himself. No, that would seem too deliberate and rather unsightly. Put it third from last. Yes, Zhang Tian nodded vigorously, his admiration deepening. What a masterstroke! Soon, the inside of the Universe Foster store was filled with bustling noises. The newly constructed washing and protection room was swiftly cleared of all traces of washing and protection in a very short time, and transformed into a small training room. Anything related to washing and protection also vanished from the store. Reopening for business, the outside of Universe Foster store featured a rather conspicuous notice. Dear esteemed customers, due to the recent shortage of mystical wood dew, there has been a huge increase in pet beast cleaning and caring needs. Many customers have inquired whether our shop offers such services. We are now providing a unified response. In order to focus on pet beast foster care and accompanying training service, to provide better service quality for our customers, our shop has no plans to launch washing and protection services. We hope our customers will understand. As compensation, we have compiled a list of foster shops within Monster Wooden City that offer washing and protection services, and we have reached collaboration with some of them, where our shop members can enjoy a discount for washing and protection at these shops. The following is the list of corresponding foster shops. Standing in front of his own posted notice, Liu Yu carefully read over every word, then nodded with satisfaction. He then gazed in the direction of Starfair Foster Care Shop with a cold laugh. Thinking of using our Universe Foster store as a stepping stone. You're still too naive. // Stretching lazily, Su Ran looked at the earth raccoons that had been groomed to a significantly improved appearance within the shop, nodding in satisfaction, and then his eyes turned to the last member of the earth raccoon group yet to be groomed. The Ground Raccoon Clan Leader. Ground Raccoon Clan Leader, it's your turn. Liru Tilda. All right. The Ground Raccoon Clan Leader nodded slightly, a tinge of nervousness flashing deep in its eyes. It had never been so close to humans before, much less allowed one to perform washing and protection on it. After all, before joining the tribe's migration to the Monster Wooden Domain, humans had killed many members of its tribe, and its tribe had also killed many humans. They were sworn enemies. Thinking of this, the ground raccoon clan leader hesitated slightly. The system identification that appeared before Sue ran also sprang up with new text content. Race name Earth Raccoon. Attribute Earth. Growth stage Leadership stay. Body type medium. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. The memories of mutual enmity are an inescapable shackle in its heart. Please let washing and protection be the key that unlocks these shackles, and use your hands to bring it pleasure. Emu. Looking at the system's evaluation of the ground raccoon clan leader, Suran was slightly stunned. He had used system identification to check each Earth raccoon, and compared to the other carefree members of the ground raccoon tribe, this clan leader seemed a bit different. He couldn't help but take another look at the ground raccoon clan leader, and then spoke softly, "Please follow me." No matter what, grooming was the right move. With that thought, Suran turned and entered the washing and protection room again. The ground raccoon clan leader watched Suran's back in silence. It wasn't until Suran was about to enter the washing and protection room that it shook its head vigorously and quickly followed. The door to the washing and protection room closed quietly. Inside the washing and protection room, the ground raccoon clan leader grew even more nervous. "Don't worry, the washing and protection process is very relaxing," said Suran in as gentle a voice as possible. "You heard the voices of your tribe members earlier, right?" The ground raccoon clan leader nodded. Every Earth raccoon that had entered the washing and protection room experienced a relaxing grooming. Although the sounds they made were somewhat peculiar, this peculiarity was due to the utmost comfort they felt. Chapter 434, 265. Cancan's Social Death and Earth Raccoon's Gratitude 2-in-1. Boss Sue, pardon the interruption. From not far away came a somewhat familiar voice. Suran looked in the direction of the voice and soon saw a refined man with glasses. He remembered him. The man owned a foster care shop called Wind and Cloud Foster Care Shop. "Boss Liu, what brings you here?" Suran greeted with a smile and walked over, but as he got closer, he noticed that the other man's expression didn't seem very cheerful. "The Universe Foster Store has posted a notice at the entrance of their shop," Liu Fengyun slowly said. "Oh, the bet has been settled already." Suran's eyes lit up, his face showing more joy. "I didn't expect them to act so quickly." Having the Universe Foster Store to drive traffic would certainly boost Starfare Foster Care Shop's fame a great deal. "No, things might be a bit different from what you're imagining, Boss Sue." Seeing the joy on Suran's face, Liu Fengyun shook his head slightly before taking out a photo and handing it to Suran. "Take a look for yourself, Boss Sue." Suran's face displayed a touch of suspicion as he took the photo and looked at it. In the photo was a store with quite impressive decoration, and the words Universe Foster Store were prominently written. Clearly, this was the entrance of the Universe Foster Store. Soon, Suran's gaze fell on the conspicuous notice in the photo. The text on the notice emerged, causing the smile on his face to gradually disappear. The other party had fulfilled the entire bet, but it was completely different from what he had anticipated. As a result, the benefits that Starfare Foster Care Shop would receive were minimal, and the significant increase in fame he had anticipated was unlikely to be realized. "This Mr. Liu," Suran opened his mouth, eventually showing a touch of helplessness on his face, "is truly cunning." Indeed, Liu Fengyun's face also held a bit of lament. "Moreover, this guy took the opportunity to team up with the local foster shops to suppress us outsiders. Even though we outsiders came here at the invitation of the association can't back us up in such commercial competition. Or to put it another way, if we can't even withstand this kind of commercial competition, then we don't have the value to be supported by the association. So Boss Sue," Liu Fengyun turned his head to look at Suran, "I can see that you have real skills. In fact, most of the foster shops invited to Monster Wooden City have good expertise. So how about we join forces and pull off something big?" Lulu tilde. Within the gathering area of the ground raccoon tribe, ground raccoons were cheerfully dancing and playing with each other. In their tribe, this was a method of celebration. And today, what called for celebration was that all members of the species had undergone washing and protection, leaving them completely rejuvenated. However, amidst the jubilation of the ground raccoons, there were also a few other figures mingling. There were several rodent-type pet beasts covered in sturdy stone scales. Earth attribute leader species, earth rock rats. They had a very good relationship with the ground raccoon tribe, and just so happened to pass by and got invited to join. Seeing the ground raccoons looking as if they were reborn, the earth rock rats whispered to each other, emitting squeak-squeak sounds, their eyes filled with intense curiosity. Seeing this scene, the ground raccoon clan leader, sitting on a large rock, had a flash in his eyes, hopped down from the rock and walked step by step towards them. Chapter 435-266, Make a Big Score. Soon, the leader of the ground raccoon tribe appeared in front of the most powerful of those earth rock rats. Being of the same leadership stage and strength, this earth rock rat was no stranger to the ground raccoon clan leader. It was the most powerful member under the earthy rat clan leader and held a high status within the earthy rat clan. Lulu Tilda, what are you chatting about? His eyes filled with kindness, the ground raccoon clan leader knowingly asked. The powerful earth rock rat glanced at the surrounding ground raccoons and then at the equally refreshed clan leader. Finally, it couldn't resist asking. Squeak Tilda, did you get some new mystical wood do? In its view, only the magical offering from the Chuanmu Beast Emperor, mystical wood dew, could make these ground raccoons so collectively clean. But mystical wood dew clearly had not been produced for several months, so where did the ground raccoon tribe get so much of it? Could it be they were rewarded and gifted by the Chuanmu Beast Emperor for some reason? The thought flashed through its mind, and a hint of envy appeared in the eyes of the earth rock rat. That was the Beast Emperor, far above them in countless aspects. Even a slight offering could give their low-rank species a chance to become a beast king. Guessing the other's thoughts from the changing look in its eyes, a hint of a smile and a sigh of admiration flickered in the ground raccoon clan leader's eyes. Although they had received washing and protection at the Starfair foster care shop, solving their tribe's grooming issues, it still hoped the Chuanmu Beast Emperor would recover soon. This was also the common wish of countless transcendent beings of the monster wooden domain. After all, they had all received the protection of the sky-touching mysterious wood. Shaking its head to clear the muddle of thoughts, the ground raccoon clan leader looked at his old friend before him with a smile. Lulu Tilda, it was mystical wood dew. It was groomed by humans for us. Squeaka. Humans? Hearing the clan leader's answer, the earth rock rat's eyes widened, a hint of surprise surfacing in its eyes. This surprise was due to an unexpected answer, but even more so from seeing the change in the ground raccoon clan leader. Unlike the ground raccoons, the earthy rat clan was an indigenous race of transcendent beings from the monster wooden domain. When the sky-touching mysterious wood occupied the territory, they had already settled there. Over the years, they had grown accustomed to the presence of humans and had a harmonious relationship with them, even occasionally entrusting their outstanding young ones to human beast masters for contract agreements. Therefore, they found it puzzling every time they saw the ground raccoon clan leader and his tribe deliberately keeping a distance from humans. And now, this old fellow who was always reluctant to interact with humans suddenly changed. Reading this strange suspicion in the earth rock rat's eyes, the ground raccoon clan leader's face reddened, but luckily, its gray fur was enough to hide this abnormality, allowing it to appear calm as it changed the subject. Lulu Tilda, want to know where that foster shop is? Squeak Tilda, tell me. The earth rock rat nodded vigorously, its thoughts returning to another surprising aspect. The washing and protection by humans in Monster Wooden City actually had such an effect. In its opinion, the grooming effect on these ground raccoons was even better than using mystical wood dew. But in the past, humans in Monster Wooden City did not have this technique, as far as it remembered. Lulu Tilda, that place is located at. With a series of gestures, the ground raccoon clan leader quickly made the earth rock rat, which frequented the city far more than itself, understand the exact location of the Starfair foster care shop. Squeaka. Squeak squeak. The other nearby earth rock rats from the same clan secretly noted this location, equally excited. Unlike the ground raccoons, the earthy rat clan, due to their frequent burrowing, easily accumulated dirt that even earth attribute power couldn't clean, thus having a greater need for grooming. Several months without grooming had already made some within the clan start to dislike burrowing. But burrowing was also a part of their cultivation to hone themselves and grow stronger. This negligence was not acceptable. So having a grooming service that could replace mystical would do, they were eager to grow wings and fly there immediately. Watching the eager earth rock rats, a hint of amusement appeared in the eyes of the ground raccoon clan leader. For the grooming Sue Ran offered to his tribe, the ground raccoon clan leader always felt a sense of gratitude. By doing this, he hoped he could repay Sue Ran right. Aside from the pleasant shock, the highest-ranking earth rock rat among them suddenly calmed down. It thought of a concern. Mystical wood dew was a resource produced by the Beast Emperor. Even though it was abundant and thus not considered precious enough to be freely gifted to all creatures of the monster wooden domain, it was still power from the Beast Emperor level. Mystical wood dew was granted freely as a blessing from the Beast Emperor, but humans within Monster Wooden City were very good at doing business. Washing and protection that could compare to mystical wood dew must be expensive, right? With this in mind, the Earth Rock Rat couldn't help but take a glance at the ground raccoon tribe, feeling a bit more at ease. Their earthy rat clan's wealth may not compare to that of the ground raccoons, capable of wielding burrow soil, but it wasn't far off. If the ground raccoons could afford grooming for the entire tribe, then the price must be within their means as well. Still, it had to ask, Squeaka, how much money does that human's washing and protection cost? Lulu. Only 3 luminous soil stones. Before the clan leader could speak, a ground raccoon rushed forward excitedly, twirling its fluffy tail like a duster, and interjected. Chapter 436, 266, Make a Big Score. 3 luminous soil stones. The members of the earthy rat clan's eyes lit up in unison. For these earth extraordinary creatures, gathering resources like luminous soil stones wasn't difficult, nor were they precious resources. 3 luminous soil stones, just to have one clan member go for washing and protection. The quicker reacting earth rock rats had already begun to count on their claws, calculating how many luminous soil stones their whole clan would need for washing and protection. Before they could figure it out, the ground raccoon clan leader shot a disdainful glance at the ground raccoon that had interjected, and then slightly shook his head. Grr tilde. Don't listen to its nonsense. The price for washing and protection isn't 3 luminous soil stones. Eh? The earth rock rats, who had just been excited, felt like a bucket of cold water had been dumped on them after hearing the ground raccoon clan leader's words, immediately calming down. Indeed, how could washing and protection, comparable to the precious resource mystical wood dew, be equivalent to luminous soil stones which they hardly used for cultivation? That ground raccoon must have been joking. The real price must be more expensive. Without waiting for the earth rock rats to ask, the ground raccoon clan leader already shook his head slightly, speaking up again. Grr tilde. Washing and protection is based on body size. We are medium size, but you can only be considered small size. So your washing and protection price is resources equivalent to 7 beast master points tilde. Eh? The Earth Rock Rat clan members were stunned once more upon hearing this. Due to their frequent interactions with humans, they were quite familiar with beast master points, and often used this special equivalent when trading resources with humans. 3 luminous soil stones, when converted into beast master points, amounted to 27 points. Yet they only needed 7 beast master points to get one clan member washed and protected. That means, with 1 luminous soil stone, they could even have leftovers. With this realization, the eyes of the Earth Rock Rat clan members shone brightly, their faces filled with delighted expressions. Isn't this price way too cheap? Squeak tilde. No time to lose, I'm off. With no more desire to stay on the ground raccoon's territory, the mighty member of the Earth Rock Rat clan greeted the ground raccoon clan leader and departed with its clan members. Watching their silhouettes recede, the ground raccoon clan leader's eyes were filled with mirth, yet he didn't forget to throw out a reminder. Grr tilde. That shop has closed for the day. You can only go tomorrow morning. Make a big score. Hearing Liu Fengyun's words, Su Ran's face carried a hint of surprise. This boss Liu, who seemed refined and scholarly, had a bandit-like edge to his speech. What do you mean exactly by making a big score, boss Liu? Su Ran asked with interest. Deep down, he wasn't someone who settled for the status quo either. If what the other party mentioned suited his taste, he wouldn't mind joining in. That, Liu Fengyun smiled, paused for just a moment without giving a direct answer, but posed a question instead. I saw Boss Sue providing washing and protection service today with the accompaniment of beast-taming customers, which means there's nothing in the process that couldn't be seen by others, is there? Yes, Sue Ran nodded slightly. The techniques he had learned from the system were not simply something one could learn by watching. As for the formulae for those wash fluids, even the slightest deviation could lead to drastic errors, and merely watching wouldn't enable learning anything. Therefore, he could confidently let others watch the entire washing and protection process. Our wind and cloud foster care shop operates the same way. Liu Fengyun's face showed a pleased smile of finding a kindred spirit. I believe that the real value of excellent washing and protection lies in the experience, not in something that can be stolen with a glance. It's not just you and me, most of the ones invited to Monster Wooden City to run foster shops from out of town feel the same. Liu Fengyun paused again. Compared to them, the local foster shops around here are. Heh. He shook his head lightly, chuckling. I still remember, after our wind and cloud foster care shop gradually started doing better, these local peers never ceased to spy on our shop. And after launching their washing and protection services, they did not welcome customers to join, keeping everyone who wanted a lookout. Liu Fengyun shook his head slightly. Such overprotectiveness, really petty-minded. Is that so? Su Ran's expression also became somewhat peculiar. I thought Universe Foster Store was an exception. Let's not talk about that. Liu Fengyun smiled. Boss Su asked me earlier how we were planning to make a big score. None of us, the foster shops from out of town, want anything more than to gain a firm foothold locally, to have a good number of clients. Therefore, we naturally need to make more people aware of our shops and show them exactly what our washing and protection services are like. Liu Fengyun's eyes carried a hint of anticipation. I was thinking, to bring everyone together for a public washing and protection showcase. Good, Su Ran's eyes sparkled as he swiftly nodded. Liu Fengyun had hit the nail on the head with one of his remarks. They needed to let more people know about their shops. This perfectly aligned with the system's task to increase fame. And holding a public showcase of washing and protection, just thinking about it was enough to outline the concept. To display the entire process of washing and protection to everyone, to let them see the contrast of extraordinary creatures before and after clearly. There simply wasn't a more direct and appealing method than this. Boss Liu, do you have more concrete ideas? When and where will it be held? Su Ran asked eagerly, his face filled with anticipation. Our Starfair Foster Care Shop is in. Chapter 437-266. Make a big score. Liu Fengyun's face showed a hint of helplessness. When he came to find Su Ran, he had guessed that Su Ran would probably agree to the suggestion. But Su Ran's proactive and enthusiastic response still caught him off guard. Boss Su, don't rush actually, this is just an idea I had today. His face showed a bit of embarrassment. You are the first one I came to for advice. Since you don't have a problem, Boss Su, next I will take the lead in negotiating with other foster shops from out of town to see which stores will participate and then determine the exact time. What do you think? Sure, Su Ran nodded, and then suddenly thought of something, adding, but it's best to finish within half a month. I've signed up for the Battle of 10,000 Tribes and might be busy in half a month. The Battle of 10,000 Tribes. Liu Fengyun's face showed obvious surprise. He almost thought he had heard wrong. Then seeing the three small creatures behind Su Ran, Liu Fengyun couldn't help but chuckle. It seems that, apart from being a skilled foster shop owner knowledgeable in washing and protection, Boss Su is also a talented beast master. I will be there to cheer for you then. Liu Fengyun cracked a little joke before returning to the main topic. Half a month's time is definitely more than needed. Boss Su can be at ease about that. As for the exact time, I will strive to confirm it by this time tomorrow, and then I will come to notify you, Boss Su. Great, it's much appreciated, Boss Liu, Su Ran nodded. After seeing the other party off, Su Ran then brought the three small ones back inside the store. Close the door, enjoy dinner, and proceed with meditation training. A night without words. When Su Ran slowly woke from his meditation the next morning and gradually opened his eyes, the early morning had arrived. Seeing the morning light scattered on the bed and falling on the three little ones huddled together in sleep, casting a pale golden sheen on them, Su Ran couldn't resist taking out his phone to capture the moment. Startled by the shutter sound, the three little ones groggily opened their eyes and, seeing Su Ran getting up, gradually became more alert. Looks like you all had a good sleep, Su Ran said with a smile, and then changed clothes before heading to the bathroom. "Hurry up and wash up, it's time for breakfast." With that, the three little creatures were completely awake. "Breakfast? Let's go." Soon, one person with three pets were sitting around in the spacious second-floor foster area. Using the system's ability to change the terrain, Suran conjured up a dining table and leisurely ate the rice noodle rolls he made himself, with the three small ones also enjoying their meal on his two sides and across from him. The foster area is still a bit too empty. After another bite of rice noodle roll, Suran looked around at the spacious terrain with a helpless shake of his head. It's been 2 days since arriving at Monster Wooden City, and it seems like all the customers are here for washing and protection. I wonder when the first foster customer will arrive. Meow Tilda, I think it should be soon. Xian lifted its head from the wide bowl, wiped its mouth with its paw, then leisurely licked its paw and calmly spoke. Xilu Tilda, with more people coming for washing and protection, foster customers should gradually increase too. Starfleur expressed its opinion with a neigh. Char, but the creatures coming for washing and protection seem to be wild transcendent beings. They probably don't have the need for fostering, right? Can howled, as it finished the last of the food on its plate and then spoke up. "You all make good points," Suran stroked his chin and said with a smile, "but the previous washing and protection were for transcendent beings, which was an unexpected situation. Now that the Earth Raccoon tribe is done with washing and protection, we should be getting some regular customers." Suran paused slightly. "After yesterday's challenge, beast masters interested in the Starfleur Foster Care Shop should come today. As long as they experience the services of Starfleur Foster, I believe there will be customers who will actively recommend our shop to the people around them, making our clientele grow." As he spoke, Suran quickly cleared the tableware and food bowls from the table. "Let's go, down to the first floor." Quickly taking the lift down to the first floor, Suran walked briskly to the front door of the shop and opened it with a smile of anticipation. Wonder who today's first customer will be. The next moment, upon seeing the situation outside the shop, Suran's smile slightly stiffened. What's this? There were not the teeming crowds he had anticipated. Instead, it was teeming with rats. Looking at the earth rock rats, all covered in gray stone scales, small in body type but not lacking in strength, Suran's expression slowly turned blank. Could someone tell him what's going on? Squeak tilde. Squeak squeak tilde tilde. Seeing Suran open the door, the earth rock rats seemed very happy, constantly calling out, hopping and gesturing something in front of him, looking quite honest and not at all like fierce transcendent beings. But, I don't understand. Suran massaged his brow. Don't all speak at once, one at a time. Understanding Suran's words, the earthy rat clan quickly settled down, neatly splitting in half to create a path. At the other end of the path, two figures quickly approached Suran. One of them was an earth rock rat, larger than the others and also stronger than the rest of the earth rock rats. Chapter 438-266, Make a Big Score. As for the other one, looking at the friendly, somewhat naive smile on the ground raccoon clan leader's face, Suran felt he had already guessed the origin of this group of earthy rats. Lutilda. Good morning. The ground raccoon clan leader greeted Suran enthusiastically. Ahaha, good morning, Suran responded with a wry smile after guessing the meaning behind the other's gesture and expression, and he greeted back in kind. It seemed that the words he had said at breakfast had come true. Customers who had experienced the service at Starfleur Foster Care Shop were now recommending it to other customers around them. Only, these customers were not humans. Looking at the number of earth rock rats, which was even greater than the ground raccoon group, Suran sighed silently. Although earth rock rats are small transcendent beings, and the washing and protection time would be shorter, so many would still keep him busy for the entire day. Come on, come on. Suran gestured for the earth rock rats to follow in resignation. Line up and come in for washing and protection. Squeak tilde, I'll go first. The earthy rat clan leader who came with the ground raccoon clan leader glanced at the other eager clan members with a threatening look, then followed excitedly behind Suran, grinning foolishly as he entered the washing and protection room. Bath time, bath time. Little rat me, I'm gonna enjoy a good wash today. Lie down here. In the washing and protection room, Suran looked at the expectant face of the earthy rat clan leader and couldn't help but chuckle to himself. This guy was a complete opposite to the ground raccoon clan leader. Even the system's evaluation said as much. Race name, Earth Rock Rat. Attribute, Earth attribute. Growth stage, leadership stay. Body type, small size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation, an individual with no wariness towards humans and an extreme desire for washing and protection. It's already feeling pleasure even before the washing and protection has started, offering no challenge whatsoever, which is rather dull, to be honest. Tilda. Wait for me a moment, I need to make some preparations. After assessing the situation of the earthy rat clan leader, Sue Ran turned around to get things ready at the workbench. Squeak. Tilda. The earthy rat clan leader nodded obediently, lying still on the washing and protection table, with a somewhat dopey smile on its face. As the system had evaluated, it seemed to already feel pleasure even before the washing and protection had begun. Sue Ran, who had swiftly finished all the preparations for washing and protection, soon held a toolkit in his hands. He took out a sharp iron spike with a flat rear end and a lightweight hammer, walked over to the earthy rat clan leader, positioned the sharp end of the spike in the cracks of its stone scales, and lightly tapped the flat end with the hammer. Tilda. With a dull yet somewhat crisp sound emanating from within the washing and protection room, the grime wedged between the stone scale cracks that couldn't be dissolved by earth attribute power shattered at the impact, sending shards scattering to either side. The body of the earthy rat clan leader also trembled at the same moment. In their original body structure, there shouldn't have been any gaps between the stone scales where dirt could accumulate. It was the incessant buildup of this indissoluble grime that had forced the scales apart, allowing more filth to accumulate and ultimately leading to a vicious cycle that left the sensitive flesh beneath the earth rock rat's scales exposed. Every time they burrowed into the soil became an uncomfortable experience for the earth rock rat. Now, with the gentle taps from Sue Ran's hammer, the striking sound echoing as if it were resonating inside the skull, the earthy rat clan leader suddenly felt an indescribable sensation of tingling all over its body. The sensation of electricity coursing through one side, coming swiftly from the location of the iron tag, quivered through the hard stone scales and sensitive body, reaching the deepest part. The earthy rat clan leader's gaze became more erratic, involuntarily lifting its head slightly, dazzled by the light overhead. The surrounding scenery seemed to blur into obscurity. It felt its body becoming lighter under the gentle hammering, a tingling sense of comfort accumulating within, eventually turning into an unbearable itch. Thump. Tilda. The last strike from Sue Ran fell at that moment. All the dirt hidden in the crevices of the stone scales was shattered as the scales snugly fitted together at that instant. The unbearable itch also vanished at the same time, replaced by a refreshing feeling and a slight sense of emptiness that enveloped the stone scales around its body, surging deep within the earthy rat clan leader's heart. Its gaze grew even more dazed. A strange and slightly twisted tone squeezed out from its tightly clenched mouth with difficulty, echoing long within the washing and protection area. Squeak. Tilda. Welcome back anytime. Tilda. At the entrance of the Starfair foster care shop, Sue Ran waved goodbye to the satisfied earthy rat clan, a hint of undeniable exhaustion in his eyes. Spending the whole day washing and grooming the same race was not just physically taxing, but also a test of his mental fortitude and patience. Fortunately, these earth rock rats, which hadn't received washing and protection for a long time, provided him with ample pleasure feedback. Although the pleasure value wasn't adding up in the account, their reactions during washing and protection were also a great motivation for Sue Ran. It's just, at this rate, who knows how long it will take to achieve the famed target. Sue Ran couldn't help but shake his head and sigh, casually opening the system tasks. Main Task 4, Branching Out. Task Description: please have the host successfully set up branch stores in 4 different second-level towns. A branch store is considered successfully set up when its fame exceeds 50%. This is a phased task, and rewards are dispensed in stages. Task Reward: System Skill Upgrade Command X1, System Upgrade Experience plus 600. Current Phase Task: successfully set up branch stores in 2 different second-level towns. Task Progress 1-2. Zion City completed. Monster Wooden City 2.350. Phase Task Reward: System Clerk X3. Reading line after line of text, Sue Ran's expression suddenly stiffened. After entering Monster Wooden City and opening the second Foster shop in a second-level town, the Fame progress could actually be displayed normally again. He hadn't checked the task interface for several days, only seeing it now. But after taking a closer look at the progress, Su Ran's expression became one of bewilderment. It had passed 2%. Su Ran was clear about the simplicity of increasing Fame in Xi'an City. In the beginning, the growth of Fame could be described as glacial, and it stayed below 1% for several days in a row. After all, Fame corresponded with the vast population base of Xi'an City. As a second-level town, though Monster Wooden City may not be as strong as Xi'an City, its population base is by no means inferior, and due to the peaceful environment, it was even slightly larger than that of Xi'an City. Under such circumstances, Fame had imperceptibly broken through 2%. A contemplative look crossed Su Ran's face. He was reflecting on the past few days. Chapter 439, 267, Su Ran's suggestion. When discussing the fame of a storefront in a city, it is naturally assumed to mean the proportion of humans in that city who are aware of the Starfare foster care shop. But at this moment, Su Ran developed a whole new understanding of the term fame. It may not be such a straightforward calculation. For the beast masters of this world, pet beasts have always been considered contract partners and collaborators, with an equal relationship in terms of their contracts. Therefore, it's natural that the pet beast's awareness of the Starfare foster care shop could also be a criterion for its fame. Due to the enormous population of a city, the previous Su Ran found it difficult to conduct precise investigations into fame and was unable to obtain a definitive answer. But now he seemed to see a clue. Monster Wooden City is a city unlike any other human settlement. A huge group of wild transcendent beings lives in the surrounding Monster Wooden domain and maintains a friendly relationship with the people inside Monster Wooden City. Even more, these extraordinary creatures can freely enter and exit Monster Wooden City. In this case, it's not unreasonable to say that they are also a part of Monster Wooden City. When measuring the storefront's fame in Monster Wooden City, the system seems to have considered this, including the wild, extraordinary creatures in its calculations. Therefore, Su Ran, who had almost exclusively provided washing and protection services to the Earth Raccoon and Earth Rock Rat from the extraordinary creature group over the past 2 days, unexpectedly gained more than 2% fame. Thinking of this, Su Ran stroked his chin, a hint of interest appearing in his eyes. Although he still couldn't grasp the system's method of measuring fame, the discovery at hand seemed to be an exploitable point. If he continued to provide washing and protection services to wild transcendent beings, might the speed of fame increase become even faster? With this thought, Su Ran felt a surge of anticipation. He wondered whether the Earth Rock Rats and Earth Raccoons would introduce new species to him, allowing him to test this theory. Boss Su. The voice from outside the store interrupted Su Ran's soaring thoughts. The next moment, Liu Fengyun stood at the entrance of the foster care shop and waved to Su Ran. Boss Liu, you've arrived. Su Ran smiled and quickly approached him. How did the discussion go? Yesterday, Liu Fengyun had come with a proposal to join all the foster shops that had come from outside the city in a big event, to hold a public wash and care exhibition to counter the local foster shops' combined suppression. Su Ran had already agreed yesterday, and now hoped the other party would bring good news from the other foster shops. And judging from his expression, it was most likely the case. I visited all the foster shops that had relocated here today, Liu Fengyun said with a smile on his refined face, including both of our shops. Out of 17 foster shops from outside the area, 15 agreed to join in a public wash and care exhibition. Oh, that many, Su Ran nodded with satisfaction. Although not all of them, with each shop having different washing and protection rules, having 15 shops willing to conduct a washing and protection demonstration in public was already beyond his expectations. Yes, I didn't expect there to be so many, Liu Fengyun nodded. Given the circumstance that the Universe Foster Store took advantage of the situation to collude with other local foster shops against us, everyone has heard about it. Perhaps that's the reason. Let's not talk about that. I'll go straight to discussing the next steps, Liu Fengyun said with a smile as he pulled out several pages of printed papers from his chest. This is the provisional event plan I've coordinated with the other 13 foster shops after confirming our respective needs. Please take a look, Boss Su. Let me see. Su Ran's eyes lit up, not expecting the other to be so well prepared. He immediately took it and began to read. Soon Su Ran's voice contained a hint of surprise. In 2 days, that's soon. Yes, Liu Fengyun nodded. First, the sooner this is done the better, as the combined action against us has already started, and any delay would affect all of us. Also, the public wash and care is expected to last 1 day. Participating in the public event will undoubtedly impact the day-to-day operations of the shops, even requiring a temporary 1-day closure, and each foster shop has different schedules. Here, Liu Fengyun glanced at Su Ran. If it's inconvenient for you in 2 days, I have an alternative date, which is in 5 days. There's nothing inconvenient on my end, so let's do it in 2 days, Su Ran shook his head. Liu Fengyun had a point. This event's timing was better sooner rather than later. At this moment, Su Ran was managing Starfair Foster Care Shop in Monster Wooden City with just 3 little ones to look after, so it was very convenient to close any time. Then we'll set the date for 2 days from now. Liu Fengyun nodded slightly, took out another provisional plan and a pen, and quickly started annotating the event date. And Su Ran continued to read. It had to be said, not only was Boss Liu very proactive, but his work was also very meticulous. This provisional plan had detailed arrangements for every aspect. According to his plan, the public wash and care exhibition would be open to all beast masters in Monster Wooden City. The 15 foster shops would take turns occupying the temporarily constructed public washing and protection area, providing free washing and protection services for any interested clients, pet beasts. And within this segment, there was an interesting, mildly competitive rule. Chapter 440, 267, Su Ran's suggestion. Although the washing and protection services were free, guests could reward the foster shop according to their satisfaction with the results of the services. The different foster shops occupied the washing and protection spaces for different periods, with time slots fairly distributed based on the flow of people. Less popular time slots were longer, while more popular slots were shorter, to ensure a comparable flow of visitors. By the end of the day's public washing and protection exhibition, the most popular shop would be determined based on the total amount of rewards received. Seeing this, Su Ran's eyes flashed, and he nodded incessantly. He had joined the event precisely to enhance the fame of his shop. Undoubtedly, if his shop could be rated as the most popular, the increase in fame would be significantly larger. And Su Ran was very confident about obtaining this honor. I'm very satisfied with this plan, Su Ran nodded quickly. How will the time slots be distributed at that time? The 15 shop owners will draw lots on the spot, Liu Fengyun smiled. Only in this way can it be the fairest. That makes sense. Su Ran nodded in agreement, then continued to read on. Soon after reviewing the plan, Su Ran looked up at Liu Fengyun. Boss Liu, has the location of the event not been decided yet? That's right, Liu Fengyun nodded slightly. The initial plan was to hold the event in the large square in front of the Beast Master Association, where there's a large number of beast masters coming and going every day, and the crowd is bigger, but... Liu Fengyun's voice paused slightly before he continued. To use that space, we need to negotiate with the Beast Master Association in advance. I plan to confirm this tomorrow, and only then can the location be set. In that case, a hint of a smile appeared in Su Ran's eyes. He suddenly remembered his earlier speculation about the system's method of determining fame. If wild transcendent beings could also be included in the system's scope for fame assessment, then why not include them in this event as well? Boss Liu, I have a suggestion. Good Boss Su, please speak. Liu Fengyun's expression became a bit more serious. Having witnessed the young man's washing and protection skills, he now regarded this younger boss as an equal. Without a doubt, Su Ran would be a formidable contender for the most popular foster shop, so his opinion was particularly important. Boss Liu, the rules you designed are all very good, and I agree with them, but... Su Ran's voice trailed off slightly. Hearing the word but, Liu Fengyun knew that Su Ran was about to come to the point. His expression grew even more serious as he prepared to listen intently. I feel that, Boss Liu, you might have overlooked the differences between cities. Upon hearing Su Ran's words, Liu Fengyun's face showed a touch of surprise. The differences between cities. What did he mean by that? Boss Su, please be more specific. All right, Su Ran nodded, took a moment to choose his words, then said, Boss Liu, You must be aware that Monster Wooden City is not quite like other second-level towns. This city is protected by the Beast Emperor sky-touching mysterious wood. Of course I'm aware, Liu Fengyun nodded slightly. To be honest, when I first came here and saw a city protected by the Beast Emperor, I was very surprised. That's not all, Su Ran smiled. Outside Monster Wooden City, in the Monster Wooden Domain, countless wild transcendent beings maintain a good relationship with the Demon Wood Domain. The Monster Wooden Marketplace serves as the bridge for communication and interaction between the two. Numerous wild transcendent beings in the Monster Wooden Marketplace exchange the resources produced by their species for what they need through friendly trade with humans. I've never seen such a harmonious atmosphere outside of the Monster Wooden Domain. I feel the same way. Hearing Su Ran mention the Monster Wooden Marketplace, Liu Fengyun's face also showed a hint of wistfulness. Our Xuanxing city, which is not far from the territory of another Beast Emperor, is much more dangerous compared to here. Hearing Su Ran mention the Monster Wooden Marketplace, Liu Fengyun seemed to guess something. He glanced at Su Ran and then said, "So, Boss Su, are you planning to hold the event at the Monster Wooden Marketplace?" "That is indeed what I'm thinking." Su Ran nodded earnestly. The liveliest place within Monster Wooden City, without a doubt, is the Monster Wooden Marketplace. Holding a public washing and protection exhibition, there would yield better results for us. This, Liu Fengyun's face showed a hint of contemplation. Boss Su, I don't deny the prosperity of the Monster Wooden Marketplace, but compared to Beast Masters, there are more wild transcendent beings from the Monster Wooden Domain. Then let's invite these wild transcendent beings to the event as well, Su Ran said with a smile. After all, foster shops are in business to make money. If we can do business with human beast masters, why can't we do business with wild transcendent beings? After all, Su Ran paused, thinking of the Earth Raccoons and the Earthy Rat clan that he had served with washing and protection in the last few days, his eyes brimming with amusement. They will pay us, and even better, they pay with resources. Don't we earn more that way? Indeed. After hearing Su Ran's words, Liu Fengyun pondered for a while and then nodded slightly. Our foster shops are open to do business. If we can do business with human beast masters, naturally, we can do business with wild transcendent beings. Such a thing would be impossible in other cities, but in Monster Wooden City, it can be realized. Thinking of the transcendent beings that roam the Monster Wooden Marketplace, Liu Fengyun couldn't help but consider. They could understand human language, and they could even express their demands clearly through various gestures and body language. They did not harbor the same animosity towards humans as the wild transcendent beings Liu Fengyun had in mind, who would attack upon sighting humans. Instead, they would obediently follow human rules and pay honestly when buying things in the Monster Wooden Marketplace. Doing business with them. For a moment, Liu Fengyun's heart swelled with anticipation. To tell you the truth, he said with a laugh, shaking his head, I and the other foster shop owners have been in Monster Wooden City longer than you, Boss Su. But when it comes to integrating into this city, you have us beat by a mile. At this point, Liu Fengyun suddenly remembered that both times he came to Starfire Foster, he saw Su Ran washing and caring for wild transcendent being clans. While we were still thinking traditionally, only treating beast masters as customers, Boss Su had already included the transcendent beings of Monster Wooden City into his clientele. This is all coincidental. Su Ran's face grew more helpless. Anyhow, that is my suggestion. I hope Boss Liu and the others can consider it. I will discuss it with them. Liu Fengyun nodded earnestly. If we're to hold this event at Monster Wooden Marketplace, then the venue problem becomes much easier to solve. Once the arrangements with the Beast Master Association are completed, we can set up on the most bustling sky-touching main road in the Monster Wooden Marketplace. Saying this, Liu Fengyun lowered his head and began to write swiftly on the tentative plan in his hand. Seeing the sparkle in his eyes, he must have been coming up with many new ideas as he wrote. All right, then I'll take my leave. Raising his head, Liu Fengyun gave Su Ran a smile. If all goes well, I believe my colleagues will agree. Boss Su, wait for my good news. All right. Waving goodbye to his visitor, Su Ran turned to the three little ones and spread his hands. Work is over for today. Let's go and prepare dinner together. Meow tilde. Xilu tilde. Cha tilde. Around the shop, the cheers of the three little ones echoed. On the other hand, after hearing Su Ran's proposal, Liu Fengyun once again demonstrated his remarkable ability to act swiftly. By the next morning, Liu Fengyun visited Su Ran again, telling him the other foster shops had all agreed to the plan, and that the negotiations for renting the venue from the Beast Master Association were complete. In short, the public wash and care exhibition was fully confirmed, and all that remained was waiting for the following day's arrival. These past few days I've been busy taking care of someone in the hospital, and it's been very difficult to manage even 7,000 words daily. If I had not taken too much leave at the beginning of the month and run out of leave, I would have preferred to take a break from writing. Today it's only 4,000. I need to make an adjustment. Chapter 441, 268, Public Wash and Care Exhibition, Undercurrent Surge. Chapter 442, 268, Public Wash and Care Exhibition, Undercurrent Surge. Chapter 443, 268, Public Wash and Care Exhibition, Undercurrent Surge. Please enlighten me, everyone, Joe Hanks said with a polite smile, then turned on the megaphone in his hand. Ladies and gentlemen, beast friends from Monster Wooden Domain, hello, everyone. As his voice, amplified by the megaphone, echoed throughout the central square of Madu Main Road, more and more people and beasts turned their attention to the area and converged towards it. Liu Fengyun and the other 13 foster shop owners exchanged glances and silently left the stage. The next 2 hours, the stage belonged to Chi Kang and his Grey Wolf Foster store. There is no need for everyone to stay here all the time, Liu Fengyun said with a smile after stepping down from the stage, looking at the other 13 foster shop owners including Su Ran. I have already informed you of your times in advance, just make sure to come back before the designated time starts. However, after Liu Fengyun finished speaking, no one present seemed inclined to leave. Boss Liu must be joking, laughed one owner with a goatee, stroking his smooth beard. How could we miss such a rare opportunity to exchange washing and protection techniques with everyone? Our Shengshan Pet Foster Care has specifically suspended business for today's event, so we could take this chance to learn washing and protection techniques from our peers. Same here. After this foster shop owner finished speaking, many others laughed and joined in the chorus. Clearly, they all shared the same idea. Meow, are we also staying? Xian leaned in close to Su Ran and asked quietly. Yes, Su Ran nodded, his face filled with anticipation. I plan to stay as well to see the washing methods of other foster shops. His washing techniques were taught by the system, which definitely differed from those of other foster shops in this world. Now that he had his own insights into the washing and protection methods, observing and learning from the techniques of other foster shops was an opportunity to broaden his knowledge. This was also one of the reasons he had agreed to Liu Fengyun's invitation. Seeing the 3 little ones looking hesitant, Su Ran knew what they were thinking. You 3 go back to the shop and train. You don't need to stay with me all the time. If I need you for anything, I will summon you in advance. Child, okay. Can nodded vigorously, excitement twinkling in its eyes. Of course, you can only train back at the shop. We're not discussing going out of the city, Su Ran quickly added, squashing the adventurous Cancan's little schemes. All right then. The light in Cancan's eyes dimmed. It had become an explorer without a dream. All right, Su Ran smiled helplessly. After today's event is over, I will take you out of the city to have a look tomorrow. It had been a few days since Cancan and Star last sneaked out for an adventure. Were it not for this unexpected event, Su Ran might have taken them out of the city the day before to check out the place Cancan had discovered. So, as soon as this event concluded, it would be time to schedule a city outing. Yay. Cancan's mood swung like a roller coaster, brightening up again in an instant. Xian and Cancan climbed onto Star's back. The 3 little ones nodded at Su Ran, and then vanished from sight. As Su Ran's gaze shifted from the leaving backs of the 3 little ones and returned to the stage, an expectant look appeared on his face. After the host's brief opening remarks and introduction of the event rules, the first contestant had already taken the stage. It was a beast master, his slightly stiff demeanor suggesting he had never before allowed his pet beast to receive foster shop care. Sir, in these months since mystical wood dew has ceased to appear, how have you helped your pet beast with body cleaning? Wash with a tap. But your pet beast is a fire attribute pet beast. Amid a few queries that drew laughter from the bystanders, Chi Kang approached the customer with a face that, though wild-looking, now held a reassuring expression. Please rest assured and hand over your pet beast to me. I'll make it as good as new." Okay. The Beastmaster nodded, and behind him, the hexagram star array lit up. Amidst the gusting winds, a monkey covered in flames appeared before the crowd. Fire attribute transcendent stage leader species, little flame monkey. Compared to a healthy, well-built little flame monkey, the flames around this one were noticeably less vibrant, and its color was somewhat dim. It was visibly not in great condition. Please follow me." After circling around the little flame monkey to assess its condition, Chi-Kang clearly had a plan for its care and confidently pointed to the washing station, gesturing for the little flame monkey and its beast master to follow. Before long, the little flame monkey was placed on the washing station, and Chi-Kang began his preparation for the washing care. Below the stage, the foster shop owners, under Liu Fengyun's guidance, had found good viewing seats and were engrossed in observing Chi-Kang's preparation details while also engaging in discussions. "That little flame monkey just now looked in rough shape. This is not going to be an easy cleaning job. I wonder if Mr. Chi can handle it. I feel like if that little flame monkey was handed over to me, I'd struggle a bit. I hope I won't encounter such a difficult washing subject when it's my turn." Haha, who knows? Chapter 444-268, Public Wash and Care Exhibition, Undercurrent Surge. As Su Ran listened to the exchanges of other store owners, a contemplative expression surfaced in his eyes. According to the system's assessment, the current washing and protection requirement for this little flame monkey was 4 stars, which was already considered difficult to groom. Of course, that was for other people. For Su Ran, the little flame monkey before him was not enough to pose a challenge. In just a moment, the corresponding washing and protection plan appeared in his mind. So, what he was more curious about now was, how would this Mr. Chi-Kang respond? Under the watchful eyes of Su Ran and the other store owners, Chi-Kang quickly finished his preparations and then began the official grooming. In his hand there appeared a rough-surfaced, dark red stone. "Is that a flint stone?" one of the foster shop owners whispered. "It's good at kindling fires. Is Mr. Chi planning a fire bath?" A fire bath involved using a kindling material to ignite some special combustible resources, which during burning would release the energy contained within, melding into the pet beast's body, nourishing and repairing it with energy. This method was basically something only a fire pet beast could use. As for the little flame monkey right now, it was indeed the perfect candidate. "No, it's not a fire bath." Another foster shop owner, who had a closer relationship with Chi-Kang and obviously knew about Chi-Kang's grooming methods beforehand, chuckled and said, "Mr. Chi is skilled in the stone washing method." The foster shop owner who had mentioned the fire bath looked confused. "Stone washing method? What is that?" "ZZZT tilde." A scraping noise from the stage interrupted his question. The audience looked towards the source of the sound just in time to see Chi-Kang holding a flint stone, scraping it at an intricate angle along the side of the little flame monkey's body. As the flint stone grazed the little flame monkey's fur, it sparked a trail of fire towards the sky. The little flame monkey's facial features slightly furrowed, seemingly enduring pain, but soon after each scrape from the flint stone, its tightened features gradually relaxed, revealing a comfortable expression on its face. Eventually, the look of pain completely disappeared, replaced by total comfort, even causing the little flame monkey to involuntarily hum in pleasure. And with each scrape, the flames around its body visibly grew more vigorous, the red glow tumbling upwards, casting a red hue over the entire grooming platform. Seeing this scene, the spectators burst into an uproar, and among these sounds there were also diverse beast roars. Clearly, it wasn't only the human beast masters who were moved by the apparent grooming results, but also the wild transcendent beings felt an impulse. This stone washing method is Mr. Chi's forte. It appears simple, just scraping the body's surface with a fire attribute stone, but in fact, it's quite sophisticated, previously mentioned foster shop owner chuckled. "I've heard of this method, but doesn't it seem to have quite a few limitations?" Another foster shop owner couldn't help but interject. "Only a portion of pet beasts are suitable." "Of course," the previous foster shop owner nodded, "there's no grooming method that suits all pet beasts. Formulating corresponding washing and protection methods based on the pet beast's conditions, that's what we need to do." Hearing this, the others couldn't help but nod in agreement. On the stage, the grooming of the little flame monkey ended quickly, and the Beast Master was obviously very satisfied with the post-grooming results. After listening to the host explain the reward rules, he did not hesitate to give 15,000 yuan, expressing his gratitude. This price was already higher than the Grey Wolf Foster Store's charge for small pet beast grooming, causing the hearts of the other foster shop owners to race with desire, itching to try it out for themselves. The atmosphere at the event instantly heated up with this perfect start, and after the little flame monkey's Beast Master left the stage, the number of audience members eager to hop up surged dramatically. The atmosphere at the Universe Foster Store was strikingly different from that of the open-air washing and protection exhibition. At this moment, the door of the Universe Foster Store was temporarily closed, and a wooden sign reading "Temporarily Closed" hung on the door. However, the Universe Foster Store was not empty. In fact, there were more people inside than usual. Besides the owner, Liu Yu, there were about 10 men and women of various temperaments. Only their expressions were none too pleased. "Everyone, I believe you have also received the news." Liu Yu's voice was somewhat somber. "Those foster shops from outside the area have joined forces. They have conducted public washing and protection demonstrations at the Monster Wooden Marketplace to gain popularity for themselves. You should be aware that such actions pose no small threat to us." "What threat? No threat at all," one of the owners snorted dismissively. "If they can do it, naturally we can too. Tomorrow, we can hold a similar event. With our fame in Monster Wooden City, we can reclaim the customers they've attracted in minutes." "I have to say, Mr. Tian, your words are somewhat amusing." Another owner couldn't help but shake his head. "If our washing and protection techniques were really that good, would we need to join forces to suppress them?" With that said, everyone fell silent. Indeed, these establishments had been invited by the Beast Master Association of Monster Wooden City from various second-level towns to set up shop, so their strength goes without saying. By contrast, they had never before dabbled in the washing and protection service, and many aspects of the business were like feeling stones to cross the river. They were simply no match for the others in terms of experience. If their own abilities were truly not lacking, then how could these local foster shops, which already enjoyed high popularity and reputation, be threatened by a few outsiders with no local foundation? A public washing and protection exhibition is both easy and difficult. Easily done by simply borrowing a venue and setting up a stage. The difficulty lies in the fact that locally, foster shops hold their privately developed washing and protection techniques very close to their chest, unwilling to make them public. Even if they were willing to disclose them, following an exhibition already conducted by the out-of-town foster shops, mimicking them would do no more than make them the object of ridicule, clumsily wielding the tools of another's trade. Doing the same as them, holding such public demonstrations of washing and protection is definitely out of the question. Liu Yu shook his head, dismissing the suggestion. "But we can't just sit here and wait for our demise either." Hearing Liu Yu's words, everyone nodded in agreement. Clearly, they all shared the same thought. The opposition has made their move, and they couldn't just lie down and take it, could they? "Mr. Liu, you seem like you might have an idea." One of the owners observed Liu Yu carefully before suddenly speaking up. "I indeed have an idea," Liu Yu nodded, "but it will require a bit of help from all of you." Doing the same as them, holding such public demonstrations of washing and protection is definitely out of the question. Liu Yu shook his head, dismissing the suggestion. "But we can't just sit here and wait for our demise either." Hearing Liu Yu's words, everyone nodded in agreement. Clearly, they all shared the same thought. The opposition has made their move, and they couldn't just lie down and take it, could they? "Mr. Liu, you seem like you might have an idea." One of the owners observed Liu Yu carefully before suddenly speaking up. "I indeed have an idea," Liu Yu nodded, "but it will require a bit of help from all of you." Chapter 445-269, High Difficulty, No Difficulty. Washing and protecting a difficult pet beast. I actually do have one. After hearing Liu Yu's idea, one of the local foster shop owners chuckled. "It's a wind bell at the leadership stage. Not only is it difficult to wash and protect, but the Beast Master also has a bad temper. If those outsiders don't wash and protect it well, just the Beast Master throwing a fit will be enough to give them a hard time." Having said that, a somewhat schadenfreude expression appeared on the face of the local foster shop owner. Clearly, he had witnessed such scenes before. "Wind bell," Liu Yu muttered under his breath, a contemplative look in his eyes before turning to the other foster shop owners. What do you all think about this option? This won't do. Another local owner shook his head. Although washing and protecting a wind bell is quite troublesome, I'm afraid it's not enough to stump them after all. He couldn't help but puff out his chest as he said this. I've already figured out how to wash and protect a wind bell, and those outsiders from other foster shops have more experience and might also have their methods. Upon hearing his words, the other foster shop owners cast envious and jealous glances at him. If that is the case, let's all suggest some other choices. Liu Yu nodded in understanding and then looked at the others. I have an idea. The owner, who had just revealed his knowledge on washing and protecting the wind bell, spoke with a smile. How about we let them wash and protect an Earthrock spirit? That's definitely going to be difficult. Earthrock spirit? That's child's play. Another local owner smirked with pride, clearly aware of how to wash and protect such transcendent beings. So this suggestion clearly wasn't reliable either. In my foster shop, there is indeed a pet beast that is quite suitable. A person who had been quiet during the previous discussions suddenly spoke up. Although my shop has never washed and protected it before, I know its difficulty level has to be high. Everyone turned to look at the person who had just spoken, and then they each showed a reflective look, obviously having some ideas and speculations. Are you talking about that exquisite flower king that has been fostered at your shop for a long time? Liu Yu asked tentatively, excitement flashing in his eyes. The pet beast that even mystical wood dew can't completely wash and protect. Exactly, the exquisite flower king, confirmed the owner with a slight nod. I'm confident I can persuade its beast master to bring it to the event. Even mystical wood dew, produced by the beast emperor, can't wash and protect it thoroughly. I don't believe those outsiders have any way to do it. All right, let's do that. The washing and protecting difficulty is sure to be high. The other owners expressed their stance, clearly having no objections to this proposal. They had vaguely heard about the exquisite flower king 1 or 2 years ago. Mystical wood dew can wash and protect even the demon wood domain's beast king, but it just can't do a complete job on it, only able to complete a part of the process. Now that there's been no mystical wood dew for several months, its condition can only have worsened. Those outsiders from other foster shop owners are bound to be stumped by it. Once washing and protection fails. Thinking of the consequences, they couldn't help but let out snickers in unison. Bring those pet beasts mentioned just now too, Liu Yu said with a visibly more relaxed expression. I heard they are taking turns showing off at the public wash and care exhibition from 15 foster shops. We'll prepare several more tricks up our sleeve to really play with them. As he spoke, a stern look flashed in Liu Yu's eyes. He thought of Su Ran. It didn't matter what happened with the other shops, but that exquisite flower king, it had to be assigned to the Starfire foster care shop. This time, there's no way to let that person continue to be insolent. Du's washing and protection techniques are really unique. At a seat not far from the stage of the public wash and care exhibition, Su Ran watched a pet beast that had just been washed and protected by Du Huyan and was now refreshed, as its beast master continuously expressed gratitude to Du Huyan and gave a generous reward of 20,000. He couldn't help but exclaim. Before Du Huyan, he had already witnessed the washing and protection methods of 3 different foster shop owners. Each method was focused on a different aspect, unique in its own right, and opened Su Ran's eyes. But what surprised him the most was Du Huyan's method. The most distinctive feature of Du Huyan's method was the extensive use of floral transcendent resources during the washing and protection process, which through collection, extraction, and special blending, formed bath liquids with various effects. Conditioning, repairing, maintaining. Besides the usual effects of washing and protection, there were even bath liquids with medical uses, such as promoting the recovery of external injuries and facilitating the repair of burns and scalds. Their 100 Flowers foster store specializes in that. The elderly man wearing glasses who sat not far from Su Ran chuckled. Even in our bright radiant city, 100 Flowers is quite a famous foster shop. This elderly man was Zhang Qinglin, the owner of the Land Foster Care Store, and like Du Huyan, he came from the second-level town Bright Radiant City. The two had known each other for a long time before coming to Monster Wooden City. Boss Du was born into the Du family in Bright Radiance, a special family specializing in studying extraordinary flora. Her strength comes from being immersed in it from a young age, Zhang Qinglin sighed. That's something you can't just learn. Speaking of which, Boss Su, It's your turn after Boss Do, right? Another owner spoke with a friendly smile. I've heard that the pet beasts you took over from the Universe Foster store that were considered beyond saving were washed and protected by you to the point of being completely transformed. Chapter 446, 269, High Difficulty, No Difficulty. Today, I finally get to see your skills in action. A complete transformation would be an exaggeration. Su Ran smiled modestly. According to the schedule, Ms. Du should be able to wash and groom one more pet beast before it's my turn to take the stage and embarrass myself. Boss Su is too modest. Hahaha, Boss Su is the youngest here, truly a case of a young hero. Hearing Su Ran's words, the other shop owners laughed amiably. In the midst of everyone's conversations and laughter, Ms. Du Huyen on the stage also welcomed her final customer. It was a man with a slightly sullen complexion. By his side was a large bell floating in the air, shimmering with a faint green light. The surface of the bell was also covered in green patterns that resembled flowing water. A wind attribute leader stage transcendent being, the wind bell. We thank this gentleman for coming on stage, and now Ms. Du Huyen, the owner of the 100 Flowers Foster store, will begin the grooming for your pet beast. The host spoke briefly and then walked off the stage, leaving it to Ms. Du Huyen. Ms. Du Huyen slightly furrowed her brows, gazing at the hovering wind bell. After a moment her brows relaxed, revealing a smile. Please follow me. Outside the stage, the normally chatty Foster shop owners became more serious as they watched the events on stage. Wind bell. Certainly, grooming a half-elemental form transcendent being is not simple, Zhang Qinglin said, watching his fellow villager begin preparations with a slight frown. As far as I know, the 100 Flowers Foster store previously did not accept elemental pet beasts for grooming, because their grooming methods would not be effective with elemental creatures. This is a public grooming. There is no way to refuse the customer, but if the grooming does not go well, it could negatively affect the 100 Flowers Foster store. That would be rather bad. Su Ran couldn't help but frown along. I'm not sure if Ms. Du has mastered any other grooming methods. I think Boss Du must be confident, Liu Fengyan spoke up softly. After all, she seems quite composed right now. However, Liu Fengyan's voice slightly paused, and a grave expression surfaced in his eyes. It seems that, among the audience, I've spotted a few individuals who shouldn't be here. People who shouldn't be here. Qi Kang raised his eyebrows and couldn't help but stand up to look around. His gaze quickly locked onto a certain area and his expression turned ugly. It's those guys. The others followed Qi Kang's gaze and soon also saw the group in question. Leading them was Liu Yu, along with local foster shop owners who had joined forces to suppress them. The rival shop owners seemed to notice their looks and looked back challengingly and with ill intent. Boss, an employee dispatched from the Wind and Cloud foster care shop to assist hurried over, walked up to Liu Fengyan, and whispered a few words before taking his leave. Once the employee had left, Liu Fengyan's expression turned sour. It's confirmed. He looked at the wind bell and its beast master on the stage. The beast master of that wind bell came here with the local foster shop owners. Instantly, everyone's expression changed. The meaning behind this was self-evident. The wind bell's beast master was in cahoots with the local foster shops. Choosing a pet beast that Ms. Du was not familiar with grooming was an intentional act by the rivals. Thankfully, Boss Du is prepared. Zhang Qinglin, previously worried about his fellow villager, now looked at Ms. Du Huyen's actions and relaxed slightly. Because Ms. Du Huyen was now using a different grooming method than before. She was not using the bath liquids made from grassy and woody-type transcendent resources. Instead, she used a handful of mixed, finely ground, lightweight sandy grains. This was the most common grooming method used for wind attribute elemental transcendent beings. All the necessary grooming resources and materials were ground into grooming sand. Then the wind attribute elemental transcendent being would absorb them. The grooming sand, carried by the wind, would then deeply cleanse both the inside and outside of its body before being expelled. With such a method, the wind bell can be groomed thoroughly, at least 80%. Another foster shop owner commented. As a semi-elemental type transcendent being, the wind bell's grooming still requires some additional things. Ms. Du must be aware of this. Su Ran pointed to an item Ms. Du Huyen had prepared on the grooming table. That is the grooming paste Ms. Du has just mixed, intended for cleaning and maintaining the actual physical parts of the wind bell. The group engaged in a flurry of discussions about the wind bell's grooming. Meanwhile, on stage, Ms. Du Huyen completed the grooming of the wind bell with poise, without any mishaps. In just over 10 minutes, the green light around the wind bell deepened, and an invisible energy wind swirled around it. Its body gleamed with a lustrous sheen, looking as if it was thoroughly refreshed. It swayed in the air, ringing out a cheerful lingling to express its gratitude to Ms. Du Huyen. And the sullen-faced beastmaster had a somewhat relieved expression at this moment. Although he had come with the local foster shops and was likely aware of their intentions, he was a customer, not a lackey of those shops. So when the wind bell was well groomed, he wouldn't deliberately trouble the owner who did the grooming. And moreover, he was beginning to consider whether to entrust the grooming of the wind bell and his other 2 pet beasts to this place, called the 100 Flowers Foster Store, in the future. Chapter 447, 269, High Difficulty, No Difficulty. Chapter 448, 269, High Difficulty, No Difficulty. Following that, gasps of amazement resounded throughout the room. There was no denying it. The condition of the pet beast was dreadfully poor. It was a humanoid pet beast that walked on 2 legs and had 2 arms sprouting from its torso. Its figure was slender, with a waist as thin as a flower stem. At the tips of both its hands and feet, there were no palm-like structures as seen in humans. Instead, there were smooth root-like structures without any offshoots, and at the wrists and ankles, it had exaggeratedly large flower buds, with similar buds atop its head resembling a crown. This transcendent being as a whole had a smoky pink hue, and it should have been an incredibly attractive pet beast. However, the deep brown rust-like blemishes that spread across every part of its body, reminiscent of withering flowers, made it look extremely bizarre. Without question, this was a pet beast in urgent need of washing and protection to adjust its condition. Su Ran's eyebrows knitted slightly at this moment, because the evaluation from the system for the pet beast in front of him was somewhat troubling. Race name, Exquisite Flower King. Attribute, Earth. Growth stage, General Stay. Body type, Medium. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. Given its special washing and protection requirements, in the many years gone by, no treatment has ever reached its core. Pleasure has always been fleeting, leaving only a deeper yearning. It's time for the host to use their skilled grooming techniques to fill its heart. Setting aside the system's increasingly frivolous evaluation content, Su Ran grasped a faint suspicion brewing in his mind. Could this pet beast possibly be? Even mystical wood dew cannot be used for its washing and protection. Below the stage, the various foster shop owners from out of town showed expressions of shock and anger. Mystical wood dew is a special resource produced by the Beast Emperor. It could be said that, if not for the Beast Emperor's halted production, these skilled foster shops from out of town would scarcely have a chance to survive here. How miraculous is such a resource? And how extremely difficult to groom must a pet beast be, that even such a resource cannot washing and protection it? Yes, Liu Fengyun's expression at that moment was just as dark. It was during a chance occurrence that I learned about the existence of this exquisite flower king. It is said to be an extremely unique evolutionary form that has never been seen before in Monster Wooden City. With high difficulty in grooming, even mystical wood dew can't thoroughly clean it. Don't mention never seen in Monster Wooden City. I've been in Xuanxing City for all these years, and I've not heard about such an evolved, exquisite flower king. I haven't heard of it either. Neither have I. The various foster shop owners shook their heads one after another, their faces showing helpless expression. Running a foster shop, regardless of the service provided, requires an in-depth understanding of the respective species, so servicing the leader species is the simplest, because there are detailed records for almost all existing leader species. It's more challenging when providing washing and protection for a king species that has evolved once. That's because many king species have brand new evolutionary forms, never before seen by anyone. In such cases, providing service requires starting from scratch, with the only point of reference being the species' previous form before evolution. That is also why there is a substantial gap in depth and strength between foster shops catering to leadership stage or below, and those serving up to king stage or below. And for higher emperor species, the services required to keep up becomes even more difficult. This exquisite flower king was precisely the kind of case these foster shops feared encountering. Not only is there no precedent, but the service difficulty is also extremely high. Conventional services are inadequate for its needs, and even a miraculous resource like mystical wood dew is insufficient. Then how could Boss Su possibly manage? At this moment, no one had confidence in Su Ran. Boss Su has already stepped onto the stage, Du Huyen said softly, her eyes showing a grave expression. If he fails, Starfare Foster's reputation might be ruined. It was my oversight. Liu Fengyun took in a deep breath and took responsibility. For all future guests who will take the stage, I will request that they summon their pet beasts for inspection first, and only after confirming they are no issue will they be allowed on stage. As for Boss Su, Liu Fengyun glanced at Su Ran on the stage, a hint of apology flickering in his eyes. The best way I can think of to salvage this is to tell all present about the situation with this pet beast. If they all knew that even mystical wood dew couldn't wash and protect the exquisite Flower King, then Boss Su's failure afterwards would bring much less of a negative impact. That's the only thing we can do, sighed Du Huyen softly. Other foster shop owners also had a touch of sympathy on their faces. Boss Su was so young, and he was the last to come to Monster Wooden City among them. This is truly such a pity. Hey, have you heard? The washing and protection of that exquisite Flower King is especially difficult. Oh, how so? They say that even mystical wood dew can't properly wash and protect the exquisite Flower King, which is why it's in such bad shape. What? There are transcendent beings that mystical wood dew can't wash and protect. Yeah, if mystical wood dew can't do it, can this young man succeed in washing and protecting it? I don't see much hope, just his bad luck. Indeed, I think we could give him another chance, and after he washes and protects the next transcendent being, then we can determine the washing and protection level of his shop. You have a point there. Similar, covert conversations were happening at many places in the audience. Under Liu Fengyun's arrangement, the staff secretly planted among the crowd deliberately guided the conversations, and soon everyone there knew the details about the exquisite Flower King. In their hearts, they already expected Su Ran to fail in his washing and protection task, so naturally, they wouldn't feel too disappointed when the actual failure occurred. As Liu Fengyun said, this was probably the best way he could think of to help Su Ran. However, on the stage, Su Ran didn't seem to need it. Please lie down here. After signaling the exquisite Flower King to lie on the corresponding washing and protection table for a medium-sized pet beast, Su Ran began various preparations for the washing and protection with a calm expression. Undoubtedly, washing and protecting this pet beast would be very difficult. Even for him, with the system it was the case. But when there are difficulties, you overcome them. It's just a withered flower. Just pump it full of nutrition and it's done. Soon, Su Ran finished his preparations and stood up straight. However, he didn't start right away. The hexagram star array twinkled into existence behind him. The next moment, Star and Can-Can stepped out of the fierce wind. This time for the washing and protection, I need both of your help. After giving a few instructions to the two pet beasts, Su Ran then officially began the washing and protection process. Accompanied by the shower gel, at just the right temperature, being sprayed from the shower head onto the exquisite Flower King's delicate body, evenly soaking its slightly wilted leaves and petals. Just pump it full of nutrition and it's done. Soon, Su Ran finished his preparations and stood up straight. However, he didn't start right away. The hexagram star array twinkled into existence behind him. The next moment, Star and Can-Can stepped out of the fierce wind. This time for the washing and protection, I need both of your help. After giving a few instructions to the two pet beasts, Su Ran then officially began the washing and protection process. Accompanied by the shower gel, at just the right temperature, being sprayed from the shower head onto the exquisite Flower King's delicate body, evenly soaking its slightly wilted leaves and petals. Chapter 449, 270, The Reborn Exquisite Flower King. Chapter 450, 270, The Reborn Exquisite Flower King. This must be due to Boss Su's unique washing and protection technique. Liu Fengyun sighed with a helpless smile. I hope Boss Su can successfully complete the washing and protection. Not far from the two of them, Du Huyen remained silent, but at some point, her charming face blushed with a trace of crimson. She slightly adjusted the tight long skirt that accentuated her enticing waist and hips, then once again straightened her sitting posture. Meanwhile, the other foster shop owners had an array of strange expressions. The atmosphere at the event, which had initially been pessimistic about Su-ran, had vanished without a trace. However, this new atmosphere might not necessarily be good for Su-ran either. All of this went unnoticed by Su-ran, who was completely absorbed in his own world, fully engrossed in the washing and protection work on the exquisite Flower King before him. He quietly waited for the bud to be fully saturated with the bath liquid, until a drop of the liquid seeped from the tip of the bud, trickling down its outer edge, and finally fell to the ground. Only then did Su-ran stop pouring the bath liquid. Keeping his hand that had been inserted into the bud in place to prop it open, he skillfully donned a latex glove with fine, soft rubber tips on the inside and reached in deep. Then, Su-ran started using gentle strength and skilled techniques to rub away the accumulated dirt within the exquisite Flower King's body. With Su-ran's ongoing actions, the shaking of the exquisite Flower King grew more and more intense. It felt an odd burning sensation within the previously cool comfort, as if its body was about to be set aflame, and the continuously kneading hands imparted a powerful shock, akin to an electric jolt. The slightly raised head of the exquisite Flower King suddenly lifted higher, and in its pale green eyes, the dreamy look intensified, as if about to brim with moisture. Even its originally elliptical pupils subtly deformed at that moment, seemingly about to transform into heart shapes. In the venue, only its increasingly peculiar sounds echoed. Ying tilde tilde tilde. Pleasure value from the exquisite Flower King plus 70. Pleasure value from the exquisite Flower King plus 70. From seeing the content expression on the exquisite Flower King, Su-ran nodded slightly. With the ultra-thin nature of the latex gloves, he could almost perfectly sense the feedback from the touch on the inner side of the petals. The granules, like goose flesh, were particularly stubborn. Even after being soaked in the bath liquid, they could not be shed with too gentle a touch. Thus, it was time to increase the strength. Bringing his index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger together, Su-ran pressed the pads of these 4 fingers against the surface of the inside of the petals. Then, with a force strong enough to create visible protrusions on the outer wall of the bud, he slowly slid over the inner side of the petals. Bit by bit, filth by filth, those stubborn stains were finally completely peeled off the inner side of the petals after being sufficiently soaked by the bath liquid, and with enough force applied, revealing the newly born, delicate inner surface of the petals. The dazed look in the eyes of the exquisite Flower King, and the uncontrollable trembling of its entire body, reached a climax at this moment. It felt the currents coursing through its body suddenly intensify, accompanied by an indescribably itchy sensation that made its body convulse involuntarily. The power of this convulsion spread from the tips of its root-like limbs to every bud base upon its body. The buds of the exquisite Flower King were supposed to be under its own control to open and close. However, having never seen one of its kind and lacking understanding of its own species, this exquisite Flower King had never managed to do so over a long period of time. At this moment, under the stimulation of Su-ran's washing and protection, the exquisite Flower King fortuitously managed to do it. One after another, the buds no longer needed Su-ran's hands to forcefully prop them open. In the astonished gazes of many, they slowly unfurled to their maximum size, revealing the internal cherry-pink pistils, and with a gentle breeze, light pink luminance scattered about. At that moment, it truly demonstrated the meaning behind the name, Flower King. In the future, remember to open your buds regularly, Su-ran said with a smile, continuing with the task at hand. With the cooperation of the exquisite Flower King, the work that followed would be much simpler. About half an hour later, the agile Su-ran finally finished washing and protection on the last bud of the exquisite Flower King. The rust-like blemishes that clung to its petals like tumors were completely gone after a thorough cleansing, and the subsequent nourishing techniques applied by Su-ran. Left standing on the stage was only a graceful humanoid pet beast with cherry-pink blossoms opening upon its pale green body. This was the true form of the exquisite Flower King. Even though the fate necklace bestowed by the stars had dissipated, the blooming buds of the exquisite Flower King still remained open. Presumably, after having been held back for so long, it could not help wanting to show off its most beautiful side to others. If the buds are open for too long, you'll soon feel weak, Su-ran said with a smile as a reminder, which finally made the boastful exquisite Flower King behave. The exquisite Flower King was capable of devouring plant-based transcendent resources to enhance itself quickly. These buds that could open to release power were a protective mechanism when it consumed resources too powerful to absorb, not tools for displaying charm. The exquisite Flower King turned its head to look at Suran, its pale green eyes filled with a tinge of grievance and reluctance. Chapter 451, 270, The Reborn Exquisite Flower King. The man before him was the first human to wash in protection down to its deepest core. That peculiar sensation made its body quiver slightly even now as it reminisced. Suran, however, had not noticed the exquisite Flower King's gaze. After he completed the washing and protection, he wiped his hands and returned to his previous calm and composure, his eyes turning towards the middle-aged man whose expression had turned into one of immense admiration. "Are you satisfied with the washing and protection?" "Satisfied? I couldn't be more satisfied." The man quickly snapped back to reality upon hearing Suran's voice and immediately responded without hesitation. Since his pet beast had accidentally evolved into the exquisite Flower King, washing and protection had become a major problem for both him and his pet beast. Even the mystical wood dew produced by the Beast Emperor couldn't thoroughly wash and protection it, which had nearly made the Beast Master lose all hope. It was said that the Beast Emperor himself possessed a much stronger ability for washing and protection, which might solve the issue, but that was clearly beyond the reach of a general-level Beast Master like him. But now Suran had done it. The middle-aged man, who had harbored no hope before coming onto the stage, felt a sudden surge of unexpected joy. At this moment, all the middle-aged man wanted to do was to express his gratitude by any means possible. That's right, a reward. The middle-aged man, who had read the rules of the event earlier, finally remembered the rules for this event. Without waiting for the host to come up and speak, the man walked straight to the reward box and, without any hesitation, took out all the money he had on him and put it in. This gentleman is a bit preemptive. I haven't even introduced the rules yet." The belated host chuckled awkwardly. Then as he saw the amount displayed on the reward box, his voice shot up. "Starfair Foster Care Shop has received a reward of 2 million yuan. 2 million. The surrounding area erupted in a moment of amazement over this unprecedented large sum of reward. Even Suran himself appeared quite surprised. After all, this amount was much higher than the prices at his shop for washing and protection. "Sir, you didn't have to reward so much." "No, it's a must." The middle-aged man shook his head firmly. "Boss Su, you have no idea how many methods I've tried in order to give the exquisite Flower King a complete wash and protection. This pinnacle state that it's showing now, I've only seen it right after it had completed its evolution. It hasn't shown such a state for many years. So, you must accept this token of my appreciation." Well then, thank you very much." Suran shook his head in resignation. "I really appreciate it." "It is I who should be thanking Boss Su." The middle-aged man chuckled, leading the reluctantly departing exquisite Flower King off the stage. After a moment of silence, the venue suddenly burst into an unprecedented cheer and applause. Almost every spectator standing below the stage couldn't help but applaud for the incredible washing and protection that Suran had just performed. Although the process was somewhat unorthodox, the young man's skills in washing and protection had undoubtedly surpassed their expectations. Before this event, everyone in Monster Wooden City held mystical wood dew in the highest regard. For those who were accustomed to collecting mystical wood dew from the sky-touching mysterious wood for their monthly washing and protection, this product of the Beast Emperor was undoubtedly the pinnacle of washing and protection. Even though the wash and protection skills demonstrated by the various foster shops had been exquisite, matching the effects achieved by mystical wood dew, the deeply ingrained notion had not disappeared from their minds. Until Suran made his move. A pet beast that even mystical wood dew couldn't wash and protection was effortlessly cared for in his hands, its appearance improving by more than just a notch, looking as if it had been replaced with a completely different pet beast. With such a miraculous scene unfolding before their eyes, even the most stubborn and outspoken of them had to admit that Suran's skills in washing and protection had indeed surpassed mystical wood dew. At that moment, everyone's gaze towards Suran became passionate. The words Starfair Foster Care Shop were etched firmly in their minds. Even the 14 foster shop owners from other regions, who had been sitting and watching the competition, couldn't help but rise to their feet and generously applaud Suran. One could say that Su Ran's actions not only built his own reputation, but also vindicated washing and protection, hinting at the potential elevation of its status in Monster Wooden City. In a corner of the event venue, a group of men and women stood out with their low spirits amidst the festive atmosphere. Unlike the lively noise on and off stage, they were quiet, each with an uglier expression than the last. "What do we do now?" After a long while, one of the local foster shop owners grunted and looked towards Liu Yu. "What we thought was difficult, he solved effortlessly. Instead of slapping his face, it's our faces that have been soundly slapped." "Exactly, they say you're crafty, Liu Yu, but it seems that's not really the case." "Enough." Liu Yu took a deep breath, raised his voice sharply, his face full of shame and gloom. "Was this plan just my idea? Before coming here, didn't all of you agree with this plan? Did any of you think that a pet beast which even mystical would do couldn't wash and protection would be so easily taken care of by someone else?" At Liu Yu's retort, the others gradually closed their mouths. Indeed, letting the exquisite Flower King get wash and protection was a decision they had all agreed on. It was a pity that they had all been so full of themselves, certain that they could thwart the plans of the outsiders, only to end up becoming their stumbling block. Chapter 452, 270, The Reborn Exquisite Flower King. "All right, let's go back," the owner of the foster shop where the exquisite Flower King had originally been staying said, shaking his head slightly. "Now that it has come to this, we'll have to truly fight them in this business war. If we lose, we'll just have to give up the washing and protection service and return to our original fostering and accompanying training business to protect our own small patch." A sigh went up from the crowd as they followed him and left the venue. But the same question echoed in everyone's mind. By giving up the washing and protection service, could they really protect their small patch? If other foster shops from outside the area provided such good washing and protection service, wouldn't their fostering and accompanying training service be inferior? "We have half an hour left for Starfair Foster's operation, so please welcome the next guest." Amid the fervor of the announcer's voice, there was some commotion at the entrance. Su Ran looked over with anticipation. Who would his second guest be? As he awaited with expected eyes, the curtain that had been drawn was lifted, and a rotund transcendent being appeared, striding on its two short legs onto the stage. It was covered with layers of long, dense, purple fur, with only two small light purple eyes peeking out, blinking at Su Ran, and it said hello to Su Ran by shaking the two distinctive feelers on top of its head, as it had no hands. There was no beast master by its side, and the unique aura of a wild transcendent being made its origins quite clear. This was a transcendent being from the Monster Wooden domain. Suddenly, quiet whispers spread among the audience below. Even the transcendent beings curiously watching from the crowd showed surprised and bewildered expressions. Compared to humans, wild transcendent beings were less receptive to washing and protection. In the wild transcendent beings world, there was a more defined hierarchical order, which engendered blind worship of the beast emperor sky-touching mysterious wood in their hearts. Although this event was for both human beast masters and wild transcendent beings, since the morning, no wild transcendent being had come on stage. All who did were human beast masters. This one in front of them was the first wild transcendent being to attempt the washing and protection service at this event. While the audience was surprised, Su Ran also made a system identification to learn about this guest in front of him. Race name, Sleep Demon. Attribute, Super Ability. Growth step, Elite Stage. Body type, Small size. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. A transcendent being that symbolizes luck and sleep. If the host gives it a pleasurable washing and protection experience with skillful hands, something unexpected might happen. Symbolizing luck and sleep. Su Ran paused for a moment, taking a closer look at the transcendent being in front of him. This was the first time the system provided such a special reference. And the last line of the evaluation was particularly surprising to Su Ran. Although the system's evaluations were always less than serious, putting aside that frivolous content, the occasional gems of insight it provided were always important. It seemed this transcendent being in front of him was quite special. With that thought, Su Ran immediately perked up with great interest. "Welcome here to receive my washing and protection." He gave his brightest smile, pointing to a small-sized washing and protection table nearby. "Please follow me there for the bathing." "Luby." The sleep demon responded, touching the tips of its two feelers together in the air, as if a shy little one extended two index fingers and poked them together shyly, despite its lack of hands. Under Su-Ran's guidance, the sleep demon cooperatively lay down on the washing and protection table, waiting for him to complete the preparations for the cleansing. Soon, the washing and protection officially began. With the warm water flowing from the shower head, it moistened the sleep demon's body evenly, running down from the tips of its slightly rough fur to the roots, then passing around the follicles, and finally merging into a light gray stream. The sleep demon's eyes revealed a look of contentment. Compared to the previous exquisite Flower King, the washing and protection process for the sleep demon seemed much more routine. After completing the initial wetting, Su-Ran applied whipped nourishing shampoo to his hands, spreading it evenly over the sleep demon, then began to rub and massage. With his kneading, the shampoo permeated evenly to the roots of the fur, and every inch of the hair follicles gently trembled under such meticulous massaging. However, this time, Su-Ran felt as if something was missing during the washing and protection. Usually by this point, the pet beast undergoing washing and protection would have already been making strange sounds, accompanied by uncontrollable light tremors. Whereas the sleep demon at the moment, under Su-Ran's massage, it actually closed its tiny eyes and fell into a deep sleep, breathing deeply. A strange expression appeared on Su-Ran's face. Could it be that this fellow gets tired more easily? With this thought, Su-Ran couldn't help but increase the strength of his massaging. You must make a noise for me today. Phew. Su-Ran took a deep breath, a look of exhaustion on his face. Washing and protecting this sleep demon felt more tiring than washing the exquisite Flower King before. No matter how much he increased the strength of his washing and protection, the sleep demon slept so sweetly, even starting to snore at the end. In the end, Su-Ran simply had to give up on the idea of applying more force, and following the standard washing and protection procedure, methodically completed a full set of washing and protection and maintenance work. Just when Su-Ran was blow-drying its fur, thinking that this guy would continue to sleep soundly on the table, the sleep demon that had slept through the entire washing process opened its little eyes, got up from the washing and protection table, and hopped down lively from the table. Su-Ran opened his mouth. How do you feel? Luby. The sleep demon moved to the large mirror set up to inspect the results of the washing and protection, and saw itself, its fur smooth as silk and shimmering with an incredibly supple luster in the sunlight, a satisfied look in its eyes. Luby. Clearly, it was satisfied with Su-Ran's washing and protection results. Glad to hear it, Su-Ran nodded, but his mind recalled the evaluation from the system during the previous identification. Washing the sleep demon would lead to an unexpected event. So what could that event be? With this thought, he couldn't help but look towards the sleep demon. Luby. The sleep demon, just awakened, now fully alert while admiring its new look, had become completely refreshed. Having always loved cleanliness, and after the mystical wood dew ceased production, it was finally able to wash itself clean again. Having been watching the scene for quite a while now, it knew that the time had come to reward this human. To reward someone was to give them something valuable from oneself. A contemplative look appeared in the sleep demon's eyes, and it quickly thought of something, waddling over to the reward box. It just so happened to have something it couldn't use itself. In that case, it might as well give it to the human in front of it as a token of gratitude. Luby. The sleep demon called out and then, from who knows where, produced a small clump of crystal-clear material, placing it in the reward box before waddling off the stage. Huh? Seeing the clump of material, Su-Ran suddenly exclaimed in surprise. Could this be dream-weaving silkworm silk?